Everybody, welcome back to another day, another episode of the Daily Grind. I'm your host, 30NSG, and on today's show, we're going to be talking about Bungie. Once had up to 6 games in development, and most of them fell apart after Sony's $3.6 billion deal. We're also going to talk about, it's an opinion piece from Push Square. Hermen Hulst has failed, and PlayStation Studio needs to change. And then we're also going to watch the Chapter 5 of Power On, the story of Xbox, the Red Ring of Death. If you guys like what I do, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member. What's going on, chat? Good morning. How's everyone doing? Let me see who's all here. Good morning, Eclipse, Aku, Big Mo, Midnight, or Travis. Feels good, man. Water Bear, Jason, good morning. Who am I missing? Jesse Mack. Did I say Jesse Mack? Yeah, there's Jesse Mack. Altern. I already think I said Altern, but I'll say Altern again. You know, Altern needs a little bit more love than everybody else. You know, he's lonely. Okay, so last night's stream. Let me tell you something. We thought we were going to jump in. We thought we were going to jump into Grand Theft Auto 5 and do a heist, and boy, we did the complete opposite. It took 45 minutes just to figure out what the fucking menu systems were and all this other crap. And then we couldn't get into the same game with each other. Then we were getting killed by people. Then I had to spend $4 million just to get a submarine and a helicopter just so I could go on an island to be bored to death. It was entertaining. It was entertaining for me. Not for you, but it was entertaining for me. Yeah. Ended up buying a submarine, though. That's right. I got a nuclear sub. And people say, what do you need a nuclear sub for? And I'm saying, why not? Why not? I got a helicopter and a sub, and I only have about $500,000 left in my bank account. You know, I wish that was a true story. I wish that was a true story. I wish I could just say that out loud and say, I only have $500,000 left in my bank account. Hey. All right. Talk about money in a bank account and then throwing it away. That's what I'm saying. Reports Bungie once had up to 6 games in development, and most of them fell apart after Sony's $3.6 billion. You guys like what I do? We do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. We just cover news stories, have conversations, right? You come into my house, we just have conversations. You get your opinions, I get my opinions. At the end of the day, we go our separate ways, and hopefully you had a little bit of fun while you were here, right? Let's go on, Roadkill. Oh, there's something I'm going to ask you guys later in the show. We're going to talk about. It's for the channel. It's for the Discord and stuff like that. I want to get you guys feedback live on channel, and then in the feedback channel also in Discord. I'm trying to come up with some ideas, and I want to hear the pros and cons from you guys. Right? I'll give you my pros and cons of what I want to do, and I want to hear your pros and cons because I want to hear if you guys think it's a good idea or a bad idea, and kind of rummage it through my head, right? So that'll be later in the show. I think we'll do that right before we watch the video. So, all right. So, Bungie had 5 or 6 games in development at one point. The most falling part of Sony of $3.6 billion acquisition, according to a new report. Now, Bungie has spent the past few months shrinking its workforce. Destiny 2 received a final live service content update on June 9th, 2026. And Sony followed on June 25th with another round of layoffs, affecting most of Destiny's team and most Marathon staff. Bungie said that future projects were still in early incubation, which is a rough place to be after repeated cuts. So Marathon, doing fantastic, by the way. That's a joke. Marathon hasn't given Sony the clean reset it wanted either. While Sony also has been supporting the game publicly, the player numbers keep declining. To the point where the game is just hovering over 1,000 concurrent players on Steam during non-peak hours. So additionally, Marathon game director Joe Ziegler also left Bungie last month, and Bungie has since been testing for a possible PvE pivot
14
through the Vault
celebrates
Breaker.
34 months of membership.
Sir, sir, did we win? Did the heist was successful? Did the penthouse was worth it? Anyways, happy 30 for months.
Thank you very much for the 34 months, Altern. I was like, what's happening? Someone's talking. Stormtrooper's talking. Right? Did the heist was successful? No, it wasn't successful. We didn't even do the heist. I thought I was going to make some money. Even the job I did, I didn't make any money. I didn't make any money. Did the penthouse was worth it? I don't know. I didn't even go to my penthouse. We walked in for 3 seconds. It was worth it 8 years ago. It was worth it 8 years ago. Water Bear says, one YouTube gift. Thank you very much for hiding. He's hiding. Appreciate you. All right, so now Bloomberg's Jason Schreier has put a number on just how many bets Bungie's once had running at the same time. Okay, Bungie is in development. Up to 6 projects were once in the pipeline. And yet, all we have now is Marathon. That's it, the roadmap for Marathon. In a new video about PlayStation's live service push, Bloomberg reported Jason Schreier said Bungie had 5 or 6 different projects happening during a wider expansion period. Sony bought Bungie for $3.6 billion in 2022 and openly pointed the studio's live service experience as part of the deal. He says, quote, as part of the acquisition, Bungie also had a whole bunch of other live service games in the works, and Sony wanted to see...
At Water Airson Mars 8052 celebrates 41 months of membership, sending you some hiding emoji things throughout the chat today. Also Travis says Elden Ring is the GOAT emoji.
I believe that. Thank you, Water. Thank you very much for the 41 months. Appreciate you guys for the continued support. All right, so Sony wanted to see it come out of some subsequential years in addition to the course of Destiny 2, which is also Bungie's big ongoing project, Schreier says. He also continues to say, but for a variety of reasons that I will not get into in the story down the road, most of those projects fell apart. I believe there's also were 5 or 6 different projects that were happening. Some of them did come out. Did come out? Okay. Schreier doesn't name the full lineup in the video, so take that exact 6 project lineup with a grain of salt. Based on various reports over the past few years, we've compiled a list of projects Bungie appears to have in development at one point or another. So obviously they had Matter, which is Bungie's mysterious new IP reportedly canceled in 2020 before Sony acquired the studio. Then we have Destiny Rising, a mobile Destiny spin-off developer published by NetEase Games in collaboration with Bungie, released in 2025, which I think is doing a lot better than Marathon. Marathon, Bungie's extraction shooter, released in 2026 and still being actively supported, which was supposed to come out in 2024. Project Sunspot, a reported Destiny spin-off that was canceled in 2023. A standalone Destiny 3v3 PvP game. Destiny 2 continued support. Project Payback, a third-person Destiny spin-off reportedly inspired by games such as Warframe and Genshin Impact, canceled in 2024. And Project Gummy Bears, an incubation project that survived Bungie's restructuring by moving to Sony, and the team behind that spun out to Team LFG in 2024, where the game remains to be in development. Okay, it says the timing makes this list messy. Matter was reportedly killed in 2020, 2 years before Sony bought Bungie, while Sunspot and Payback disappeared later as the studio expansion plans started collapsing. Destiny Rising made it through the NetEase, and Gummy Bears survived by leaving Bungie entirely for Sony's Team LFG. I love the fact that Sony was like, oh, you're working on this? They just grabbed it from Destiny or from Bungie and was like, we're going to put it over here in our other studio. This leaves Marathon as the clearest example of the project from Bungie. Wider push to actually stay inside the studio and reached release. The 6 named lineups for this year of reporting, but Schreier hasn't confirmed that these are the exact projects behind the 5 or 6 figures. So they're just speculating at this point if these are the same things. I would assume that they didn't have 6 that we just named and 6 other ones, so that would be like 12. I don't think that's the problem. I think the 6 that they named are the 6 that they had. I don't think there's another 6 that they didn't know about, right? It says the obvious missing name in this is Destiny 3. Schreier reported that May that Bungie had no immediate plans to put Destiny 3 into production and no specific new project greenlit for the ongoing Destiny 2 team. So anyone counting Destiny 3 as a secret 7th game is getting ahead of the evidence. But is there evidence? Right? Is there full evidence? You see what I'm saying? Like, all it takes is like someone down the road that NDA breaks and they're like, yeah, there was a Destiny 3. Right? There was a Destiny 3. Right now, we can't side with one or the other because it's all hearsay. It's just one person reporting a thing with no other substantial stuff. And there's evidence of the things that he's talking about, but we don't know it's fact until we know it's fact. So with stories like this, you never really know. Bungie's next approved project won't just decide what the studio makes after Destiny. It could decide how much Bungie is left to make it. Okay, so which Bungie canceled or spun off project would you have wanted to see survive, and should Destiny 3 be in the studio's next game? Let us know in the comments. I can't imagine, and we've talked about this in the past, I can't imagine buying a company known for the game that we all know, which is Destiny 1 and Destiny 2, and then not continuing with Destiny. Now, obviously, we're looking at the surface level stuff, right? In the gamer's eyes, Destiny 1 was successful. So much so, they made a Destiny 2. Now, we know after the fact that Destiny 2 struggled and then almost failed, but they brought it back to life, 5 weeks after it came out, right? You can go watch a GDC talk about that, okay? And then from that point in 2017 up until 2026, we would assume that the game was doing well because of the numbers were high. It was on PC, it's on console. The numbers were good. But then Sony bought them for Destiny, for the technology, for their live service being the best live service game that, again, the gamers thought Bungie and Destiny was pretty good. And yet Sony comes in and completely nukes them. Okay? Bungie nukes themselves. But you understand what I'm saying? Like, they got rid of a bunch of people. They canceled a bunch of games. They move some of their IPs over. It's just mind-boggling to me that you wouldn't make Destiny 3, but you made Destiny Rising, which is a mobile game. And obviously, I know it's NetEase, it's not Sony, it's not Bungie. But obviously, the IP is big. As much as I despise Bungie as Destiny and I don't support them, okay, I can't sit here and tell you that Destiny wasn't a huge brand. It was. Back before Sony bought them, they were talking about making comics and cartoons and movies and spin-offs of books and other. They were talking about a whole universe of stuff. Then it lands with the company, Sony, who makes all this stuff. They own the biggest fucking animated department now, right? With the service. They have a movie studio. They're talking about that they didn't have IPs to go to. And now they have this giant IP. Destiny's IP is so big, it could be the next Star Wars. It could be the next Star Trek. It could be the next Lord of the Rings if they choose to be that way. But they choose nothing. They choose not to do anything with it and then go completely the opposite direction and just do Marathon or whatever else they're doing. It's just mind-boggling to me as a gamer to look at this and go, okay, as a game, it was a great game. I can't deny that. It was a great game. I didn't like the business sense of it as far as the microtransactions and them lying and stuff with the developers themselves. But the game itself was a good game. To take the IP and just kind of like squash it, it just makes no sense to me. How is it that Sony taking God of War franchise and Last of Us franchise, turning those into TV shows, and yet they're doing nothing with Destiny? Make it make sense. Make it make sense. But these are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. What do you think? Right? What do you think about this $3.6 billion payout for Bungie from Sony, and then just canceling everything, moving things over, and just to basically just Unicron it, right? They're just Unicron Bungie, eating Bungie up, taking their stuff, canceling the others. Let me know in the comment section. Let me know in the live chat. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe. All right, chat. Let me see what you guys are saying here. What's going on, Argus? What's the matter? Argus says Destiny should have done Destiny Rising itself, minus gacha, but the console instead of mobile. Agreed. I'm hearing is Destiny was another drop ball, which is it's crazy. Paper says last time Schreier had insider information on the big studio, he turned out to be blatant lies. This is why anytime someone reports stuff, I mean, obviously a reporter's a reporter, and we were trained as kids, right? As young adults growing up, that the news was official, right? They would tell us stuff and we'd be like, oh my God, right? But now, even for me, when I tell you stuff, I don't just tell you stuff and pretend it's fact, right? If I say something and someone wants to argue with it, we bring up facts, we bring up charts, we bring up articles, we bring up stuff to back what I'm saying. The stuff I'm saying is based on the education of reading stuff and learning the knowledge of stuff as we've gone through the show each and every single day for years and years and years and years and years, right? We have people come in, just blankly say something. I'm like, where is it? They're like, well, I heard someone say it. We don't believe stuff like that. We don't even believe stuff like this when they say stuff because they're still not actual facts. This is someone says, trust me, bro. I talked to somebody. I have insider information. And the credibility comes from them in the past saying things that were correct. Them in the past saying things maybe not proven, but then it comes out later that it's kind of correct. And then sometimes they come out and they're complete blatant lies, like you're saying, right? This is why I don't run with something. We ask the question, right? We ask the question. We don't go, this is it. Waterbear says there was Destiny 3 source. Trust me, bro. Argus says, I heard Sony are sending Horizon co-op live service game back to the drawing board. Yeah, we talked about that yesterday. Well, even Lono was saying that they need to the game from the start. Need to redo the game from the start. Yeah, they're ripping out the live service aspect and they're turning it into a single player game again or co-op game. But we talked about this yesterday, Argus, right? People said that we're haters when we looked at Horizon, the Gatherers, and we're like, this game looks bad. Everyone's like, oh, but you haven't played it. Did you play it? It's like Randy Pitchford coming out. Did you watch it? Did you watch the movie? Did you see it? But did you see it? We see with our eyes. We saw the trailer. We looked at the Gathering. We saw gameplay of it, and we're like, yeah, that doesn't look good. That looks like another Concord. And then people that tested it said, yeah, it's bad. So much so that now they're changing it from a live service game to a co-op game. And now, where are all the people that said we were haters? Where are they? Saint says, I think the name is tarnished now. D3 will flop. First of all, it shouldn't be called Destiny 3. I've talked about this for years. Destiny 2 shouldn't have been called Destiny 2. It should have just continued on as Destiny, and then whatever thing it was, like the Red War, Forgotten Shores, you know what I mean? Like whatever, Lightfall. They should have just continued Destiny, and then boom, the next thing. Brain Eclipse says, yeah, what happened to all the media Destiny stuff they were going to do? Yeah, it's mind-boggling to me, right? Hey, guys, we should pay $3.6 billion for this company. They have all these ideas and IPs, and we're a company that needs IPs, and we're a company that has a movie theater, a movie department, and a TV department, and we have the biggest anime selection, and they go, yeah, let's not do anything with this. It's mind-boggling. Blizz was asked developing beforehand, but sexual harassment claims were pure horseshit. Waterbear says they screwed Destiny up. Should have been ongoing series of games, comics, movies, etc. Yeah. How the fact that they don't have a comic book series, a book series, a mini series, an animated series is beyond stupid. Beyond stupid. The game's been out for 12 years, right? And they have nothing. They have nothing. Jesse says, Sony has no fucking clue with their own PlayStation studios how to make games. They're already fucked. But layoffs and other cancellation games are almost done, finished, and products. Saint says, I remember correctly, Bungie came out and said they were their own worst enemy. If they make up content, they can't keep up to stay in the middle of the road. Now, see, I said this, Saint, back in 2016. I said that Bungie, because everyone used to always say the words, this next game comes out, it's a Destiny killer. It's a Destiny killer. It's a Destiny killer. And me and Sarge, way back when, we always said that the only thing that's going to kill Destiny is Bungie itself, right? In 2016, I said, Bungie can't handle money. Bungie is their worst enemy. And yet, here we are, 10 years later, and we know now that they're their worst enemy. Paper says marketing has largely been to the top performer of the game studios for a while now. So if your trailer sucks, it's already over. Well, trailers are very important, right? Trailers are very important because if the trailer is not good, that's what's selling. Right? It's like being a vacuum salesman, right? You walk up to someone's door and say, "Here, buy my vacuum." They're like, "I gotta see it run. Can I see it run?" And if they can make you use the vacuum, probably sales are much higher. But if you show me no vacuum and try to go, best vacuum in the world, you want to buy it? And be like, nah, I got to see what it is. Right? Nobody wants to buy something they don't know what it is. So when you show us a trailer of a movie, trailer of a game, a pitch, whatever, and you're like, that sounds awesome. That looks awesome. I want to play that. Right? Difference. GTA 6 trailer that they showed 2 years ago has so much hype. Why? because they showed gameplay, not gameplay, but they showed trailer, and you're like, oh my God, that looks amazing. Doesn't matter if they showed gameplay or not. People were hyped because of the way it looked in trailer form. People looked at Hunter Gathering and said, that looks like shit. One succeeded, one did not. Just Enough says, I'm behind, but I think D3 is being worked on. Not according to Jason Schreier or anybody else, right? So I would agree with you, right? At some point, you would have to be like, yeah, Destiny 2 is popular. Let's start working on Destiny 3. Not, let's do nothing and decide later. It just seems stupid to me, right? Aku says 30. Destiny, the complete journey. Destiny 1 plus 2 plus expansions, full experience, and everything can also keep live and keep expanding with new content. Yeah, they don't even have to keep going. They can just do a Division did. Division stopped supporting, and then all of a sudden they started supporting again, and they've continued on. Now they are making a Division 3, which is stupid in my opinion. They should just make Division and then whatever the next title is, right? I hate these distinct like 1, 2, 3 type of stuff. And they did kill themselves. That's correct. Jesse Mack says, because the hardware limitations in Sony are not there, they blow their budgets, is certainly are down, and the chip and software of the crisis in the few years since the next-gen console is delayed. Is it delayed? See, I don't like using the word delay, because to me, they don't even need to make a new console. And whenever they come out with the console, to me, it's not delayed. It's just the next console. Even if they wanted to put the console out this year and then it comes out in 2028, to me, that's not delayed. That's when it's supposed to come out, right? Unless they officially announce it and say the console's coming out in 2026, 2027, 2028, and then we get to that point and they're like, oh, no, we're pushing it back. That's delayed. That's the way I look at stuff. Saint says trailers hype up believers, but also can convert new people into believers. Right, but that's what they're supposed to do. Right? That's what they're supposed to do. Paper says, I mean, logically, D3 would have been in development for a while now, but some are immune to logic. Right. Paper, you can't, it doesn't make sense to me that Destiny 1 was in development. And while they were making Destiny 1, they're like, well, let's start Destiny 2. And they probably moved some stuff from Destiny 1 into Destiny 2 so they can, you know what I mean? And then while they were doing Destiny 2, they're like, hey, maybe we should start Destiny 3. And they're like, yeah, let's start making stuff for Destiny 3. But because it's a live service game and they started adding stuff to Destiny 2, technically, you could be like, hey, yeah, we were already in Destiny 3. But why label it Destiny 3? Just label it Destiny next expansion, whatever the next expansion is, and just keep going with it. Water Bear says, Horizon Diabetes Edition. Mo says, can't delay something that's not announced. Exactly. Aku says, 30, exactly. They don't need to call it Destiny 3. It could be Destiny Beyond the Reef. Right. Just insert the next name and keep it going. Especially in a live service. We know live service games you're never going to own. We know that Destiny takes shit away from you, content away from you, right? Technically, the format of live service is like Game Pass. You bring content in, you take content away. That's what Destiny is. Live service games bring stuff in, take stuff out. Destiny, they've already said it. It's too big. Can't put every stuff on the thing, right? And they remove stuff. They sunset stuff all the time. And yet, they can't make more content. Why? Well, they're like, oh, it's just not profitable. And they'd rather be profitable for this, right? This is what they're banking on, people. This is what they're banking on. Let's go. Let's go to Marathon Steam charts. Let's do it because this is what they're banking on. This is what Sony decided. This is going forward. This is what they want to bank. This is the next franchise. They're like, we can change it. We can do it. We can make it happen. Great. Good luck to you. Good luck to you. Oh, it says Season 4, the First Descendant starts today. Can't wait to get home. Yeah, Eclipse was saying something earlier. Jesse Max says 2029 to 2030. If the chips and the hardware not to ship out in the timeline, their next-gen consoles, I mean. Well, we already know that they already have deals for the next 5 years for chips. Chips are not rising for them. They have a contract for the next 5 years. So they know if the console's coming out, but they haven't announced the console. So regardless of what rumors are and people speculating about what it is, the Helix and the PlayStation 6 technically don't exist until they officially say, hey, here's our PlayStation 6, and here's when it's coming out. When they say that, and it doesn't make it that time, then we can say delayed. Up until that point, it doesn't exist. Even though they're working on it, it officially doesn't exist. We could speculate, we could talk about it, we could say all the things we want. It technically doesn't exist. Warbear says, I wonder how many people actually revisit old games on a regular basis, particularly single-player / story-driven games. I guess almost nobody. More. Just being on my channel, you're proven wrong. I literally went back and played Starship Troopers. I literally went back and played Grand Theft Auto 5. I literally went back and played... I've been playing older games all the time. What are we talking about? There's plenty of people that play old games. What do you mean, nobody? Almost nobody. There's tens of millions of people. Half the population, 60% of the people are playing Fortnite, which is a game that's over 8 years old. There's still people that play CSGO. There's still people playing Elder Scrolls, Fallout 76, Skyrim. What are we talking about? Ford says, now the D2 numbers, can't believe they pushed Marathon over Destiny. They know something we don't, I guess. Ford says, please don't hit me with facts. If you don't like facts, I'm sorry, you're going to have to leave. Like, what are we talking about? Close your ears. The stats that they say are literally, I think 60% are playing, is it 60? 68% are playing games older than 8 years old. 6 years old? I forget what the stat was. I mean, I think the statistic out there is most PC gamers play stuff that's like 15 years old or something like that. This is why they upgrade their PC. El Nina says, I still go back and do Bloodborne PvP. Shh, no, you don't. Moore says you don't. More Bear says nobody goes back and plays old games. Those are the facts. Nobody goes back and plays old games. All right, let's go with the next one here. This is an opinion piece from Push Square. This should be interesting because this is a PlayStation. This is a PlayStation outlet, or what do you call them? Outlet. This is a PlayStation outlet. It's an opinion piece. Hermen Hulst has failed, and PlayStation Studios needs to change. If you guys like what I do, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning to noon Eastern. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as whatever it is, because it's different everywhere else. Appreciate you. You get a bunch of stuff. You can also support us with the apparel or the music you can listen to. You can buy a hat, a mug, or whatever. All right. So, opinion from Push Square. Hermen Hulst has failed, and PlayStation Studio needs to change. That's it. That's all we need to know. Yep. True. Hermen Hulst needs to go, and PlayStation needs to change. But let's read on. He says, trust me, I don't take any pleasure in writing an article like this, but I think Hermen Hulst may need to be ejected from the top job at PlayStation Studios pronto. I don't... Who is this? Who is this? Sammy Barker, right? I don't think we don't read very many Push Square stuff. He's starting off okay. Right? Because you would think of all the changes they're making right now, the thing that we just talked about, Destiny, going more towards live service games, right? Changing live service games back to single player games. You would think, hey, you're changing stuff. You're doubling down on live service games. This sounds pretty good, right? You're like, all right. Says, I've been circling the opinion of quite some time now, but today's bad news about Horizon Hunters Gathering is the final nail in the coffin for me. Really? Within two sentences, I've now decided I'm back against him. That's what broke it for you? Horizon Hunters Gathering is what broke the camel's back and why you don't like Hermen Hulst? What are we talking about? Not the other 12 live service games they failed? Not the doubling down on live service games? Not continuing Destiny? Like, what are we talking about? Let's continue. As I said, I don't like writing like this. Well, but Hulst is well remunerated. How do you say that?
Remunerated.
Exactly at the very highest level of lucrative business. His decision determined by the fate of thousands of employees under PlayStation's umbrella. And while they appreciate many voices contribute to the state of Sony's first party, Hulst has been head of PlayStation Studios since 2019 and currently has the title of CEO of the studio business group. The buck stops with him. Okay. It's not all been bad since he took over the job from esteemed executive Shuhei Yoshida. The platform holder released many successful games like Marvel's Spider-Man 2 and Ghost of Yotei. Well, I had this conversation with Travis the other day, right? Now, I get that Yotei, if you want to say 3.5, let's just give him 4 million sales, successful, whatever. But what's more successful? Even though Ghost of Yoshima was on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5, and it sold 13 million copies in like 4 years, 5 years, okay? And Ghost of Yotei has got 3.4, 3.5, again, we'll say 4 million. It was also about double. It was 30 million to 60 million, right? So now you've added $30 million to Ghost of Yotei from Ghost of Tsushima. Yet Ghost of Tsushima has sold 4 times more than what or 3 times more than Ghost of Yotei. So yes, Ghost of Yotei could be successful because I have to go what they're telling us, okay? But at the same time, you would think that Ghost of Tsushima or Tsushima, okay, was much more successful and bigger payout because it was only $30 million to make, right? So from a fiscal financial perspective, it's also performing better than any game company has in the history. With the recording-breaking fiscal year forecast, the current term, I'd be reductive to say Hulst has played no part in that. First of all, I think Nintendo is more successful, but we do know that PlayStation doesn't compete with Nintendo. They always just compete against Xbox. They never compete against Nintendo, even though Nintendo is dominating. But without undermining all the work and talented teams and manufacturers' biggest internal success stories have been iterative by nature. MLB The Show has continued to churn under San Diego's studios stewardship, although its successful expanded to multi-platform. Santa Monica Studios built the God of War in 2018 with familiar but fantastic God of War Ragnarok. There have also been breakout success stories like Helldivers 2. Again, I'm not sure about this, but you guys can double check this. I know God of War, again, was very successful, but it didn't sell anywhere near close to 2000 or 2018. And I do understand PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. That's not, I don't care about that. I'm just saying it sold more, meaning less people bought Ragnarok for whatever reason. And the 93.5 million people that own a PlayStation right now are not interested in God of War Ragnarok. Why? That's for them to answer. Okay. They've also been a breakout success stories like Helldivers 2. But aside from the aforementioned, I think Sony's first party has taken a step or two backwards under Hulst's leadership. Well, yeah, because they only have 8 to 10 titles this entire generation, which is like, well, fun. It's single digits, maybe double digits. And the last gen, they had something like, I think it was like 50. And then the one before that, they had something like 80 to 100. Right? Naughty Dog is yet to ship a new title this generation, spending several years working on almost complete multiplayer versions of Last of Us, which is infamously scrapped. Okay. Remaking specialist Bluepoint was stuttered after wasting years of working.
Hermen Hulst has failed and should be gone, yet they still support his dumb decisions, calling Concord cut in 2 weeks his Star Wars, among other things.
That is very true. Thank you much for the 5.
Thank you. You love me. You really love me.
Appreciate that. Yeah, it's weird because it's like you decided to make Star Wars with Concord. That was your next Star Wars project, but yet you had Destiny, which was your real Star Wars thing. So much so that you partnered up with Star Wars inside the game. Right? So Ben Studios failed. Hulst was also successfully nurtured team Azobi.
I want people to understand. Sony's decline started when they switched from Sony Computer Entertainment to C. During that change they dropped a bunch of successful live service games, SDO, SW, Planet and Plus.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for the $10 super chat. Appreciate you. I want people to understand, like you said, Sony decline started when they switched over to Sony Computer Entertainment from SIE. During the change, they dropped a bunch of successful live service games, STO, Star Wars, Planets. Fucking Star Wars, man. I was always pissed off when Sony got rid of Star Wars Galaxies back in the day. So it says Team Azobi into Game of the Year, okay, winning studio, which also should be acknowledged, but it comes out that the studio cost of Japan Studios, a beloved outfit that may have been a messy internally, but produced games, right, that people loved. And was also an investment into the live service has been nothing short of disastrous, with Concord becoming the most embarrassing release in Sony's entire history. Not just in Sony's entire history, in gaming history. Concord is the most embarrassing thing in the history of video games. 13 days after launching, right, selling absolutely nothing and closing down after 13 days. Crazy, right? Doesn't matter if it's Sony. Just what happened in the game industry. When it was shut down and refunded within weeks. Any attempts to succeed with live service space have struggled with big swings from Fair Games and 4Loop, unlikely to ever make back their investment if they even release at all. Right? Fair Games is done. I'm telling you right now, Fair Games is done. They should stop working on Fair Games, and they should start up working on a Destiny game. Okay? Fair Games is a waste of money. Hunter of the Gathering is a waste of money if it's live service. It's probably still a waste of money even if it's a co-op game. Okay? Meanwhile, the manufacturer's acquisition of Bungie has completely backfired, with critically acclaimed Marathon failing to find audience and Destiny all but dead. Hulst is acting like a remit from above, but I don't think the pursuit of live service is necessarily wrong. The manufacturer knows that the bulk of the revenue is contributed by the handful of evergreen games. Okay, but I feel a former Guerrilla managing director has utterly failed to greenlight the right projects. Many of his most important teams now find themselves years behind schedule with no obvious route to succeed. I think that's underlined by today's Horizon Hunters Gathering report. Now think about this for a second, right? So Concord was a big failure, right? Big failure from Concord. So they lost a lot of money with that. Bungie, they paid $3.6 billion. They've lost $800 million off that in the last year or so. Okay? That's another on top of the Concord. Okay? Then on top of that, all the other live service games they've canceled, they put money into, canceled, and threw all money into that as well. Right? So what's happening here? Now, Hunters of the Gathering, they put money towards that. Now they're changing it to a co-op type of thing, trying to save it. Because obviously if they just scrap it, Fair Games, they're putting money towards that. That most likely, just because our eyes saw it, we went, yeah, it's going to fail. Just because what it is. It's not a meme. It's not like, oh, it looks like Concord. No, it looks like a bad game, so it's going to fail because no one's interested in it. Right? So, according to a trusted journalist, Jason Schreier, that's to be, that's an opinion. Right? He could be trustworthy. Some people think he is. Some people think he isn't. The bulk of Amsterdam Studio has been working on this co-op action game, which is now being repurposed as a smaller scale online product, and many yet to be canceled and fails to impress by the end of the year. Meanwhile, a tiny team has been prototyping a true sequel to Horizon Forbidden West, meaning it's potentially big 5 years or more before we follow up Aloy's adventure arrives, assuming Guerrilla even survives that long. I don't understand. I'm truly baffled by this, right? Because Horizon, they're all in on this, right? They're all in on this Horizon thing. Like game after game after game, MMOs, mobile stuff. You got spin-offs. Like there's a lot of stuff going on with this. This is not the franchise to do that with. I'm not saying it's a bad game in any way, shape, or form. It's just weird to me that you're all in on Horizon, and yet you have God of War, you have SOCOM, you have Killzone, you got Destiny. Right? You have all of these other franchises, and yet You're just going back to the thing, which kind of looks weird since Hermen Hulst is from Guerrilla Games originally. He's the one that created and pushed Horizon originally to PlayStation. This is why he's in the position he's in. But to double down, triple down, quadruple down on the thing that you did when you were at Guerrilla Games, it looks kind of weird, man. What's particularly egregious is to me is here's the fans have accused that Hulst is showing favoritism. There it is. To the Dutch developer, giving his background with them. And yet, even with the seamlessly find themselves hung out to dry under his leadership. Hulst may not be to blame alone, but he's also the man at the top. PlayStation Studios, once envy of the entire industry, is largely unrecognizable at this point. It's crazy to see that other people are starting to see, you know, behind the curtain. They're like, they peek behind it. They're like, oh, is Sony who we think they are? Right? They continue to release successful products in the near future, God of War, right? And we also encumbered by the related decisions that they simply can't be ignored anymore. So there you go. Pretty good opinion piece here. I don't think it's I find it. I mean, someone has to be blamed, right? You blame Phil Spencer, you blame Sarah Bond, you got to blame Hulst, Hiroki Totoki. These people are to blame for what's happening with Sony right now, right? As a Sony guy, if you're a Sony person right now, you got to be looking back and going, yeah, we have good games, but why do we have way less games than we used to have in the beginning? Right? You used to buy a PlayStation 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4, and you had tens of games, right? 20, 30, 40, 50 through the lifespan of your consoles. This last generation, both Xbox and Sony, okay, or PlayStation, have failed us, the consumers, because they're not making enough games, first-party titles. Why you bought the box? Why you wanted to buy the box? Sure. Are there good games on the system? Absolutely. But are there as many as there used to be in the past? Absolutely not. These are both facts. You can like the stuff that's out, but there's not a lot that's coming out for these systems this generation. I think as a whole, this is, even though we have great games, this is the worst generation to own because there's a shit ton less games from the first-party guys and a shit ton more games from third-party companies that are making games for us, and that's why we think that this generation is great. But if you're looking at it just from a first-party standpoint, both Microsoft and Sony, or PlayStation again, right, have completely failed this generation as putting first-party title games, at least enough of them, in this generation. We are 6 years into this generation, and they barely have 10 apiece, which is absolutely crazy of actual first-party titles. But these are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. What do you think? Do you think Hulst should get booted? Do you think they should change up stuff? What's going on? Do you think they should double down like they said they're doing on live service games? Or should they go back to what the tried and true is of their first-party title games? Let me know in the comment section down below. Let me know in the live chat. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. All right, let me scroll back up here. Mo says they stopped making fair games through are making break it now. Aku says Horizon gameplay loop is boring. People only play it because of it's Sony. If anyone else made this, it would have also very, very poorly. I never played the game. I watched people play it. I thought it looked interesting, right? I mean, I think it looks good, but I don't understand the whole phenomenon of making 5 different games, like spin-offs and MMOs and stuff like that. It's like, think about this. If I pitch 2 things to you, one sold 280 million copies of a game and one sold 20 million copies, one's Grand Theft Auto and one's Horizon, which one are you going to put your money towards with online and spin-offs and all this other stuff, right? Probably the one that sold 280 million. They make it sound like Horizon has sold like 400 million copies or some shit. We already heard from Schreier's Bungie was supposedly chasing Warframe. They're going all in, 1 gig of live service like Fortnite. Come on, Mr. Luke. Aqua says 30. Sony may have burned as much as $3.6 billion in live service games that have been canceled. Well, that's $3.6 billion just on Bungie. And then you're saying another $3.6 billion on the other ones? Jesse Max says it's 5.1 million copies in its first 5 days in 2023, but worldwide sales surpassed 15 million units across PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5 combined with 2018 and 2023 have crossed 1.4. For what game is that? Is that Horizon, Jesse, or is that God of War? Just Enough says they should get Bungie to make Killzone and SOCOM's Future Soldier. I'm considering even in the comics, Laffy was able to fight him to draw. I mean, I would say off the success of the first one to the second one to the third one, they probably shouldn't have gone with the third one like they're doing. Even though it's a spin-off, and again, I'm not saying because of the woman or anything like that. It just looks like a weaker thing from the past. That's all I'm saying. She was doing the laundry. You think Kratos was doing shit? Sarge says they don't have the talent to make games within the reasonable budget. The budgets are blowing because they need more people to do the job. Carl says I think Xbox is going to make a comeback sooner than later. I'll say this, Crowded. I'm not going to say it's easier for Xbox to make a comeback, but in the public eye, right? From the public eye, if Sony's the king in this analogy, right? They're the top because they are. They're the top. They've sold the most systems this generation, right? Obviously, technically not because they don't continue to Switch as this generation, even though it came out before, you know what I'm saying? Or after, it's after, but I guess it came out before. So technically the Switch 2 hasn't competed yet because it just came out 1 year. So if we take 6 years from now, 5 years from now, and look at what Switch 2 did, if it won this generation or whatnot. But right now, Sony's the top. So it's hard to stay at the top. Xbox is at the bottom. So anything they do, you can't really fall much farther down when you're last place. So anything you do to change makes and perceives that you're doing better. So you would think that it would be easier for Xbox to make a comeback sooner rather than later. Does that make sense? Like anything they do, you'd be like, oh, see, it's much better. Arga says, I play the old Pokemon games all the time. Mod for the guy on YouTube who does it daily. Many people play almost exclusively old games. Midnight says, I'm a big Horizon fan, and even I think pushing it this much is ridiculous. I just don't understand why they're pushing that when you have so many IPs. Again, remember, Hiroki Totoki came out and said, we do not have IPs. Yet they're making 5 games of Horizon. And you have all these other IPs, and you're killing Destiny. Like, what? I'm sorry, but the Destiny's lore and story, there's way more possibilities for spin-offs in Destiny than there is in Horizon. Mr. Z says, how do we have a sequel game play from Wukong and nothing from Rockstar? These companies need to fire their marketing teams. I watched that. That looked really good this morning. Eclipse posted something in the Discord. It looked great. Like I said, they added a Steelbook version to every old Assassin's Creed to my eBay cart this week. All physical games. Nice. Barbara says, Xbox is like the meme where the guy is in third place is celebrating like he's in first. Waterbear says the only thing that Xbox is coming back in reality is being a software-focused gaming company, guys. Just Enough says, I don't see the lack of first parties on Sony or Microsoft as a failure, personally. I didn't decide the PS4 Xbox generation based off exclusives. I bought the Wii and Switch because of exclusives. Yeah, but that's your personal thing. The broader argument in the industry, just enough, is that people buy the PlayStation for exclusives. People buy the Xbox for exclusives. That's what the argument's always been about. Hence why they're fighting to bring the exclusives back to Xbox. Hence why PlayStation guys always say that, you know, we have exclusives. Buy a PlayStation if you want exclusives. This is a talking point in the actual gaming industry. Jason says Xbox making a comeback, no chance. Roic says Sony needs to stop playing live service roulette and just start making good games. I have to go back and find it. I don't know where I said it. I know it was a couple years ago when they first announced they were making live service games. And I said, hey, I'm good with that as long as it doesn't suffer the single-player games for Sony. And here we are. It's hurting the single-player games for Sony. Crowd says Sony is too busy making sweet slop. Xbox just needs to keep making better games like Fable, Clockwork Revolution. It won't happen overnight, but they can do it. Yeah, and they can stumble just as fast. Aku says 30 correct. Average per game right now is 300 to 500 million. So multiply that out of over, and I think it's about 12 games now. Laffy has the vibes of Miles Morales' Spider-Man game, a DLC getting turned into a whole game. You know what? That's a good point, El Dente. It does feel like that. Now, Miles was a good game. Short, smaller game, but it was a good game. But they also needed that to go on to PlayStation 5 because they didn't have anything, right? Oh, I know Nintendo's on top. But as far as generations go, they moved the Switch into the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and they moved the Switch 2 into this generation. That's what they do. Even though, technically, the Switch is in this generation, and the Switch 2 is the next generation. So the Switch 2 is actually competing against the PlayStation 6 and the next Xbox. More Bear says, Al Dente, yes, 100%. It's probably be a very solid game, but it feels like an IP side quest. Yeah, that's exactly what it feels like. Like, I'm not saying that God of War is going to be bad, but now that you said exactly that, that's what it does feel like. It feels like they had something that they could have added to something and sell as a DLC, but instead they kind of ramped it up a little bit more to make it a standalone game, like a Miles game. Mo says Nintendo is the only next-gen console until the Helix and PlayStation 6. Right. But the way they write about it and talk about it, they think the Switch 2 is the last gen, like, for the Xbox. And it's like, no, that's not how that works. Let's see here. All these companies, all these studios, not even Sony or Xbox, it's everybody. The only one that keeps their budgets down is Nintendo. Nintendo, for some reason, knows how to make games and keep them under budget. For some reason, Sony and Xbox can't do it. $300 million for Wolverine. $300 million for Fable. $400 million for Gears of War E-Day. Like, what are we doing? Yeah, it doesn't really matter, though, more. In fairness, saying the Switch 2's hardware is already 5 years dated doesn't matter. That's the next generation console. Technically, they're already ahead, just like they were with the Switch 1. Switch 1 came out 3 years before this generation of PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series S and X. Which one sold the most? Nintendo. By a large margin. Is Switch 2 getting GTA 6? Probably a couple years from now, I would say. 100%. I think they could do it. They could make it down. If Hogwarts Legacy and all the other ones came to the Switch 2, it's going to take them time. Not anytime soon. But I think down the road it would come. Right, but that's what I'm talking about. Right? From a business perspective, Nintendo's doing it right. But I always find it funny that the guys who talk about Xbox and PlayStation, I'm not talking about you, I'm just talking about in general in the gaming sphere, they always talk about Nintendo as not part of this, right? They just kind of ignore Nintendo, like Xbox and Sony. Nintendo's over here, and Nintendo's dominating. Software sales, hardware sales, they just dominate. Oh, yeah. They make massive profits. Massive profits off their games. All right, what time is it? It's almost 11 o'clock. Let's see here. Thank you, Water, for the star. Appreciate you. You can't have two kings, Aaron. You can't have two kings. It doesn't work. If three runners are in a race and one wins, you can't say both of them are winners, first and second. One's the winner. That would be Nintendo. That would be Nintendo. One's selling dramatically more copies of their first-party title games for their console. Way more than anybody else. You know, that would be false as well. Sony is the king and Nintendo is the queen. Unfortunately, you're wrong there. Unfortunately, Nintendo would be king. Yeah, right. If you're not first, you're last. Ricky Bobby. Kevin Jordan says the Wii U flopped, yet Nintendo made the Switch. Get it? It's a double pun. Switch and got back on track. They're just different. This is why we have this.
Crazy Uncle Nintendo. Started way back in 1889. Hanafuda cards, oh, the designs were fine. From toys to games, they paved their own way. Crazy Uncle Nintendo, doing it their way. Duck Hunt, Zappers, 8-bit gold. Mario's magic stories untold. From NES to the Game Boy's glow, always ahead, stealing the show. Crazy Uncle Nintendo, marching to their beat. While Sony and Microsoft compete, they don't follow trends, they rewrite the play. Switch 2's coming and it's here to stay.
That's exactly why we have that. All right, Crazy Uncle Nintendo. All right, that's exactly why we have that. Crazy Uncle Nintendo does whatever it wants because technically they're the kings. They're the kings. Well, it says PlayStation's trying to be the Nintendo to this day, and they can't do what Nintendo is king and always will be. Nintendo sold, what, over 50 million of Mario Kart 8? Sony, yeah, 64 million, I think. Eclipse? I think it's 64 million copies of Mario Kart. 64 million. And right now, I think there's only like 25 million Switch 2s out there, and 19 million people have Mario Kart. Now, I know someone will be like, well, it came bundled with the Switch. You're absolutely right, but they canceled that in December. So since that time, January through now, they continued selling Mario Kart games at full price, $80, by the way. Okay, and they have 19 million copies sold. It's not even close. It's not even close. All right, we're going to change up speed a little bit. We're going to talk about this for maybe about 10 minutes, right? The way I do YouTube is completely different than everybody else, right? I don't care about the subscriber count. I don't care about the numbers. I don't care. This is my house. This is my house. The extension of my house is Discord, right? Some of you might push back on this, and I'm asking a question. This is just a question. I'm not saying I'm doing anything. I'm just asking a question, getting your feedback, because my house, right? I want you to come in my house and we have a conversation, right? I don't want a toxic environment. I want a place where, like people do, we have conversations, we go back and forth, right? And if you're an idiot, you get out, okay? So my question to you, our Discord is getting more people coming in. Now, the only way you can find my Discord, okay, is through the YouTube channel. The YouTube channel is my house. This is my home. I let people in my home. We have conversations, okay? So my question to you is, because Discord is an extension, right? And I'm inviting you in, and the only way you can watch my stuff is on YouTube, and that's where you see it. Would you guys be, because some of you already do it, would you guys be against linking your YouTube account to your Discord account, right? Again, so hear me out, right? I'm gonna give you pros and cons, okay? Pros. It builds up trust and accountability. That's big with me, right? Trust and accountability. It keeps Discord connected to the channels. Now, I'm not asking anyone to be a member, subscribe, anything like that. Okay? Right? Not asking anyone to, you have to be a member and you got to come over. No. The general chat is open to anybody to join our Discord. Okay? The only place you can find my Discord is through my YouTube. Now, if you're watching my YouTube, after the fact, you're a lurker, you don't talk in the channel, you don't do anything like that, you just like watching the content, but then you also want to come and join the Discord, but you're not part of the conversation or whatever, cool. But when you come in, you start, it just feels kind of like detached, right? Another pro, it helps reduce the bots and trolls, okay? A lot of people like to make 2 accounts, 3 accounts, make alt accounts and stuff like that. It makes Discord feel more like a community because YouTube is the community, right? You come here, we're live Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning until noon Eastern, okay? Okay, we don't need to use real names. I don't care about your real names. I don't care where you're from. I don't care about any of that. If you want to keep anonymous and you want to, right, and you just link your account and you want to have a different name on Discord, cool. But if you're linked to your account, it has your YouTube account, and I know that you're a YouTuber that's watching my content over there, okay? It creates a sense of belonging, right? It helps you know who you're letting into the home, right? You understand what I'm saying? Now, the cons, and I totally understand the cons, and I want to hear more from you guys. Some people value anonymity, right? They want to be anonymous. They don't want to be known, right? It can make people feel uncomfortable. They don't want to link their stuff together like a Sony type of thing. Not everyone has a YouTube channel, which is weird. It doesn't really apply to me because if you in my Discord, it means you found me through YouTube. Okay, and again, Discord is an extension to that, right? I know it could discourage people, like new members to come in because they're like, I don't really want to give my information and stuff like that, right? I get that. Let's see. Some members may want to keep their YouTube and Discord identities separate, which is fine. Okay. It can create unnecessary pressure, which I understand that as well. And that's basically it. So what do you guys think? Do you guys think I should implement something like that? Or do you think I should just leave it as is and let people just continue on? General's general. If you're a member and stuff, obviously there's more rooms opened up to you in their Discord. Again, our Discord is an extension to our YouTube channel, right? Mr. Luke says, wipe your fucking feet when you enter. Tarner says, mine's already linked, 30. Paper says, well, I deleted my Discord after they started ID shit. That's fine. Totally get it. If it doesn't apply to you, you know what I mean? That's cool. 30, if the PSN/Xbox account type of a thing is the, yeah, that's fine. But I'll be honest with you, Water, you've been here for so long. I already have tags for people that have been with us. I mean, you've been here 5-6 years. Do you know what I mean? So obviously I know you're not a bot account. I know you're not someone that's trying to be malicious or a bot or a troll or anything like that. Blanky says, I have a Discord, but I never use it for anything. Well, if you don't use it, then it doesn't apply to you. You know what I'm saying? Saint says, link for what? I just said it. I just said all the stuff. I know you probably already answered the thing after you typed it. Crowd says, many people think GTA is going to be like Balance to the Universe. All right, no. Let's see what else. Just enough says, my name is Robert Jones. Let's see. Crackett says, 30, I will send you a facial sample if you ask me to. I don't need that. I don't need that. I don't encourage that either. Morris says, mandate the link. If you don't link your YouTube Discord, you need to pay $100 a month. No, I don't care about that stuff either. Chopper Eric says, speaking for myself, it will all depend on if and when Discord springs in the forced ID verification. When it does that, I drop Discord like a fat sack of nope, and it won't matter. That's understandable, but that's not really answering my question. So, would you link your YouTube account to the Discord, or it doesn't fucking matter because once they do the thing, you're out, you're gone anyway. So, Just Enough says, question: if you turn on linking, do you have to be linked to join? to be a part of the conversation, yes, you would have to link your YouTube to be inside Discord. Right? And the reason I'm asking this now is because we're very small now, right? We have a very small community right now, right? I think active members in our Discord is less than 100. It's like 56 people, really 27 people really talk all the time, right? But it grows, and there are people that lurk, which I have no problem with. This is why I'm asking. This is why I'm putting it out there. But I do know there's people that have multiple accounts. I don't like the bloat. I don't like bots. I don't like people trying to manipulate shit. I don't like people trying to bring other things into, right? Because they're in someone else's Discord, and that's how they act in that Discord. Now, Discord is an extension to YouTube. If you're here, then you know about my Discord. If you're in my Discord and you're not in here, it's a little weird to me, right? Let's see here. Saint says you already have separate rooms for members. It seems like they're already an aspect of linking. The thing is that the main living room of our house, Saint, is general chat. General chat is the living room, right? Again, YouTube is YouTube. If you're coming into Discord, you watch either past broadcasts or you're watching the live chat for YouTube. There's no membership needed to enter the Discord. Anyone can enter the Discord, right? Anyone can enter the Discord. So where the most stuff is talked about is in general. If people want to go to different sections and they're members, they can do that, right? If you're not a member, if you're not a paid member, you get general. You can submit stories. You can still be a part of the community, right? I'm just trying to future-proof the stuff that people come in because people like to make double accounts, troll accounts, different things. Here's my personal perspective of this. If someone says, go fuck yourself, okay, I want accountability, right? I don't want to hearsay someone hiding behind a shield, right? So if I see you on YouTube, right, if I see Kevin George or Water Bear or Big Mo, and Big Mo says to me, go fuck myself, I know that Big Mo is telling me to go fuck myself because he's not afraid to go say, whatever. Right? I want people that like our community in our YouTube. It's an extension. It's like after the fact. You're in our Discord. You're having conversations. We're doing all this stuff. Right? That's what I'm looking for. If you don't want to be a part of that, you don't have to be a part of that. Luke says I have it all linked. I mean, I can't make it where people can see your Discord when you're linked your YouTube. Just do that. But the only way that you can get to see it is what Alex does. What does he do? And who's Alex? You talk about, oh no, it's Alex? I like my Discord on my YouTube. All of my console profiles all have one count. All the same name. I'm not fully in Discord. Just use when need to. El Dente says, I was there before YouTube. Yeah. 100%. And that's why some people have the OG tag and stuff like that. Mo says, Mike, when I figured out how to ship food, you also get a sample of my sausages. I'm thinking of the ice in a cooler, maybe. Yeah, you can do that. We ship food all the time. Roic says, speaking about Discord, I can't install it on my PC for some reason. I've tried all the steps it told me to do, and it still won't install. I have to go through the website. That's interesting. All right. Well, I put it out there, and again, because I'm upfront about the stuff. Right? Yeah, if you're not in Discord, it doesn't matter. If you don't want to be in Discord, you don't have to be in Discord. Right? Discord's like, we're hanging out more afterwards. Right? It's a small community. I don't need big communities. If you don't want to talk or chat or whatever, cool. It doesn't affect those people in any way, shape, or form. If you guys have feedback, I won't really read it in chat because we're going to go on to the videos. If you have feedback, you can go to our Discord. If you have a Discord and you don't like what I'm asking or saying, I haven't implemented anything. I'm asking the question, right? I want to see perspectives from all sides. We have a feedback channel in our Discord that's opened up to everybody. You can give me feedback there. You can talk to me in the general chat. You can send me a private message, whatever, right? Just put it out there. A little bit of housekeeping. That's all. Yeah, so he makes it where you can only see your Discord if he subscribes. But I'm guessing you can just do it where it's will have to be linked to YouTube to see it. Interesting. I'll have to look that up. I'll have to look out to see how he does that. Yeah, if you have feedback, just link it in because I won't read it in chat here because it just moves and it goes away and I can't scroll up. So, all right, going from that, all right, because I'm all about talking, right? Being transparent. I'm not saying I'm doing it. I'm just trying to make a better experience for people down the road because if there is a day that we have 1,000 members, 2,000 members, 3,000 members, you know what I mean? There has to be. There has to be something, you know what I mean? Jesse, were you with me on the first Twitch run or the second Twitch run? I was on Twitch, then I went to Mixer, then I went back to Twitch, then I went to YouTube. Is Aaron Travis's alt? No, I can assure you that Aaron is not Travis. I can assure you that. Last thought is it can be fun to have random chatters. Sure. If you want to be a random chatter, though, you can come in here and chat. George says, I think Aaron is Aaron's alt. That is true. Yeah, that is true. All right, we're going to watch the part 5 of the Xbox documentary, okay? Power On, the story of Xbox Chapter 5 and the Red Ring of Death. You guys like what I do? We do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. We cover news stories. We cover videos. If you like it, hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above that, you become a member as little as... I do remember Killer Monkey. I do. So I think you were the second time around for Twitch. The second time around. Yeah, because I was on Twitch. We're talking 20... I was on Justin TV. Then we went to Twitch. Okay, so Twitch, I want to say 2012, 2013. Right? See, Aaron hasn't been around long enough. Travis, who doesn't know Travis? I mean, Travis has even got a song. Everybody knows Travis.
There's a guy named Travis, he's always around. In the chat, bro, takes status down. Elden Ring, he says it's overhyped trash. With Mass Effect, now that's his stash. He's a Sony pony, loud and proud. Even when Sony's got him down, they took his games, left him in the cold. But Travis still defends them, oh so bold. Travis, the king of hot takes. Hating what we love, he claims we're all fakes. When Marvel Rivals starts to reveal, he's reporting more than he's trying to heal.
I mean, you have to be pretty special to get a song on this channel. Right? You got to be pretty good to get a song. Well, that's years ago, Ford. We started the Rageous Round Table. Now I got a question for you, Ford. Did you find me when it was me, Lono, and Websky? Did you find me when it was me, Lono, Websky, and Guardian Outpost? Did you find me when it was me, Lono, and Paul Tassi? Or did you find it when we were as me, Lono, and Clintus and Paul Tassi? There's the timeline. Two things stayed the same the entire time. Lono and myself. Which one was it? We've come a long way. Thirty says you were partnered with Tassie. Yeah, Tassie was on the show. Yeah, I've seen him, Aaron. Yeah, those were the days. Kraken says, when I found you, it was you, Lono, and what news video games? Oh, is that that's Friday. Oh, that's late though, Kraken, right? That's late. That's what is the guy's name? Kirk? Is that his name? Oh, Kirk hated me. He hated me. He thought everything I said was bullshit and his shit didn't stink. And he's like, well, chat doesn't agree with you. And I'm like, well, welcome to the fucking podcast. Like, I give a shit what you think and what chat thinks. I think he was like 20-something. He's young. Will Tassie come back? What do you mean? Is Dupless changing the real Dupless? Is that Dupless now? Will Tassie come back? What do you mean, will Tassie come back? Tassie come back? I love the debate with you and Lono over the definition of exclusives. Oh, my God. Fucking exclusives and multiplat. Exclusives and multiplat. You know what, though, Roic? It's okay. If that's what it is, you're okay to dislike somebody, right? You have to have a thick skin. There's one thing that you have to have when you're a YouTuber. You have to have thick skin. If you're not a thick-skinned person, I don't recommend YouTube. I don't recommend RooTube. That's exactly how I can tell if someone's going to fit in the channel or not. Because if I joke back to them and they take offense to it, then you have no idea what you're you're going to have a rude awakening. Okay. If you guys want to be in other channels, by all means. I am not like everybody else on this platform. Okay. I don't care. And hear me when I say this. I don't care if I have 100,000 subscribers. I don't care if I have one person watching me. I don't care if I have 100 people watching me. I am going to be exactly the same, which is just me. Is there me joking around and being entertaining? Is that a little bit of a thing? Sure. Right? Because you got to be entertaining. Does he still do stuff? I don't even know if he still does stuff. I pretty much just got out of everything from that section. I don't want to be attached. I don't want to be whatever. So I just separated myself. If you guys want drama, go watch the Kardashians. Go watch other people. I don't do the drama stuff. We just have conversation. That's it. More Bear says, I don't always even often agree with you, but I appreciate how you also share your opinions and allow others to share their and disagree. A lot of people only want to create echo chambers. Yeah. I have no problem with people talking about stuff. What I have a problem with more is when someone comes in, and I'll say it right now. When Aaron was here the first time, and he's pretty close the second time around, when he starts picking fights with people, here's the way I work. Are you ready? If you come in and you start disrupting the core of the audience that's watching me, if the core audience doesn't like watching me because someone's in the chat, because they're disrupting the crowd and ruining it for everybody else, guess what's going to happen? Right? I don't ban anybody, but I do ban them to the nether, where they can still watch, they just can't chat, because sometimes they're just don't understand that when they yap, and they don't understand that they're the problem, right? And if someone starts to cause a problem in my channel, I'm sorry. It's my channel over somebody. I don't care if they've been here for 6 years. I don't care if they're a person that's been here and they've been subbing to me. I will silence them, okay? And if they understand the bond that we have, as far as like we joke around with Travis, we joke around with other people. If you understand that, you fit in. If you don't fit in, no big deal. You can watch, you just can't participate. That's it. Right? That sounds pretty fair, doesn't it? That sounds pretty fair. Who wants to be in a room when someone's just like being an asshole the entire time? If someone's going to be an asshole, then I'll be the asshole. Kraken says, we love Dictator 30. Yeah, that's what this is. This is like China over here. Right? Because if I'm not having fun, then the person that's in the chat's definitely not having fun. And we don't need those people. You can have not fun with other people. All right, let's start having fun. Let's watch this because I want to educate myself on this new thing. Here we go.
CNBC's Jane Wells live in Los Angeles with how the 360s problems are heating up, literally.
This all came together in this.
Can you actually ban someone so they can't watch? Yes. Yeah, you can ban people that they can't watch.
Horrific perfect storm.
Some faulty Xbox 360s are literally melting down while running certain games. It was a slow roll.
The topic was about who pioneered online console gaming, and boy, some of you chimped out when you found out it wasn't Sony or Nintendo, but Sega and Ms.
Is that crazy? Isn't that crazy? Thank you very much for the $5 super chat, Tarnish. Appreciate you. Appreciate you.
Thing, like really understanding how big the problem was.
It started to really be concerning, and the numbers started to grow.
I had a sick feeling in my stomach.
You want me to read your last thing? Okay. 30, just one piece of advice. I've noticed that most of your audience don't like hearing the truth. As soon as you start stating facts, they get triggered and they think they're being targeted. Are you describing yourself? Because you've done this yourself. You've literally said stuff that's not factual. We've proven it. And then you continued on. I'm a little confused by this statement. I'm a little confused. Can you elaborate on this? Can you give an example of a thing? The whole class, we'll wait. We'll wait. It took him, what, 4 days? Was it 4 days? Almost a week. I think it was a week. See, I just give enough rope. You know what I mean, chat? When you go fishing, you gotta give out at least enough out there to. Aaron says, my suggestion is you don't ban people just because they're telling the truth. Interesting. I'm debating right now. I'm debating. We'll let him stay. We'll let him stay. We'll let him stay just a little bit longer. Okay, I'll stop because I don't want to get banned. Oh, but see, you've shown your true colors now. Do you see what I'm saying? You see, you've shown your true self not once, but twice. Right? Not once, but twice.
I feel like Aaron hasn't learned anything from his trip to the Shadow Realm.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the $10 super chat. Appreciate you. Jesus says, watch the video or unsubscribe. Awesome. See you later. I'll see you later. We're going to wait till Jesus leaves. We're going to wait. Let's wait for Jesus to leave. I'm waiting for the ideas. Let's see. Can we no. It takes 3 days for Jesus. That's right. Well, we'll have to wait 3 days. All right, here we go.
Microsoft hasn't specified the cause, but users say the console's cooling system just can't take the heat of a lot of play.
We were just having failure after failure.
The problem was huge.
Mine just crashed this holiday season. Get one bag, turn it on, didn't even work.
No! Again!
People spent a lot of money on.
I was so pissed off when we had our first Red Ring of Death. Oh man. And then you couldn't get a hold of anybody. You couldn't get a hold of anybody. Hold on one second. Hold on one second. All right.
On a console, and we're getting 2 and 3 of them back.
Whether they were friends, whether they were family, whether they were people on the street, it didn't matter. It was all over the place.
I was mad as
Then it became the media saying, this is a piece of hardware that has been rushed to market.
I just saw the statement, Saint. 30 wants no one here. He lets people stay. I mean, I guess, sure.
And as a result, we're seeing unprecedented failure rates. It's broken.
Everything that I've worked for the last couple of years is trashed.
There's a new contender in the video game wars.
Xbox is going to be the future.
truly the future of video games.
Xbox.
Taking over the living room.
Limitless, connected digital entertainment.
You guys
You never got the Red Ring of Death?
Company is
You were
going
lucky. You were so lucky. I got it twice. That's how lucky I am.
to face fierce competition.
It's a ticking time bomb.
Makes me very nervous to actually play this for you.
Xbox getting a major overhaul.
A bold vision for the future of gaming.
You got it 4 times? Jesus.
Without a doubt, the most Herculean feat of the original Xbox was that it survived. Looking at the history of the video game business, you would have given them 1,000,000 to 1 chance. So the achievement is that we made it to Xbox 360. And internally, it's fun to laugh at lots of the missteps.
You'll see Xbox will actually start up.
Like, we can laugh at the Xbox didn't turn on at the original unveil.
We can bring that video up.
But with Xbox 360, honestly, even with the benefit of time, nobody laughs at the red rings.
Yeah, nobody's laughing because you spend your hard-earned money on something.
To understand...
You know what? You know, actually would have been better if there was no console, it was just digital. It was all digital. We wouldn't have this problem. Convenience, right?
The red rings of death. You've got to go back to the beginning and all of the work we did with the Xbox 360 to build it from the bottom up. We were absolutely focused on getting out ahead of the PS3. We needed to be seen as the start of the next generation.
Aaron, apparently you don't listen very well. See this, the benefit of me getting rid of you last time, I didn't ban you. You just couldn't talk in chat. It actually worked out best for you because you got to enjoy the stream and nobody could hear you. It was great for everybody.
The 360 was 5 to 10 times more powerful than the original Xbox. And so to achieve that level of performance, we had to push technology and solutions that didn't exist in the previous generation.
This was an incredibly hard, complicated program. The circuit board itself is a completely custom design. And we were building these chips, which was a new process at the time.
We did our own internal design instead of buying off-the-shelf silicon.
We're bringing up new hardware with software that isn't quite done yet on new test systems.
You can argue with anybody you want in any other 6 million channels that are out there. You can go complain once I ban you again. To go into another stream and be like, can you believe, would you ban someone for just talking and blah, 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 blah? Do you know what I'm saying? Do you know what I'm saying? I know you like it. And as a parent, sometimes you gotta be tough loving with the people that are around you, because otherwise they just don't learn. They just don't learn.
That we're developing in real time.
And that had a domino effect on the whole product.
The design was coming together kind of late. We were launching in November of 2005, and we did not see our first silicon from the CPU until February of 2005. It's just ridiculous.
That's 9 months before launch. That is an absurdly short time frame. The normal time frame would probably be like 2 years.
And so we're faced with finishing the design and wrapping up.
Wait a minute, did he say the amount of time?
Until February of 2005. It's just ridiculous.
That's 9 months before launch. That is an absurdly short time.
9 months before launch, which would take something to 2 years.
Time frame. The normal time frame would probably be like 2 years.
And so we're faced with finishing the design and wrapping our production lines at the same time.
We wanted to launch it worldwide so everybody had it at the same time. But that's a big challenge because you also need to have enough units to restock in retail so that the countries you do launch in aren't out of inventory.
We need to get our yields up. And so we're cranking up production.
At the highest manufacturing output, I remember hearing numbers like a console would come off the line every 4 seconds.
Wow. 4 seconds.
But as we're ramping production, we start to see reports of these issues that were coming up. Lots of inconsistencies. Consoles would fail at test stations. If you build 100 of these things, only 50 or 60 of them.
That's right, Saint. They launched broke, buggy, unfinished, and you know what they did? They said, send it out anyway. They're gonna pay for it.
Would work, which is really, really bad. Like a real robust yield rate would have been 90, 95. This was the fog of war that we had to see through, and that was, is there something wrong with the design of the product, or are we testing it incorrectly?
Because we were trying to ship in high volume, there wasn't much time to...
They were right, George. They were right. And this is why me personally talks about stuff like this, because little by little, they just chip away at you, right? Little by little, they just keep chipping away at you because they know that you're a good little boy, a good little girl, and you're just going to buy whatever they have because they did it, right? That's it.
To think about it because there was so much to be done. One way of dealing with the failed consoles was to put them into these nice boxes and stack them so that you would get back to them at some future point in time. In a way, we were kicking the can down the road.
In a way? No, not in a way. You were. That's a big difference, my friend. You weren't kind of kicking the can down the road. You were kicking the can down the road.
A little bit.
We are developing what we call a bone pile. At the height, we created a bone pile that was over 600,000 units deep. And so it's just like...
Think about this, right? Obviously, they're saying this now, years and years and years later. But if you found out about this when they were doing it, and the things that they're saying to you right now, would you support a company like this?
The Lucille Ball episode where the chocolates are coming off the conveyor belt, and they're coming off so fast that they can't do anything with them. That's exactly what was going on. The thing about building consoles is Christmas doesn't change. So your schedule is paramount, and there's just so much pressure to get it done by November.
They could have delayed it. They could have delayed it. Instead, they said, let's push it out because we need it for Christmas because it's the biggest time of when we can sell consoles. Instead, they cost so much money for themselves for just kicking the can down the road.
After a hectic lead up to production and months of intense troubleshooting, engineers finally managed to solve the technical issues that had plagued the 360. As consoles started to pass QC,
or did they? Bum, bum, bum.
The team was finally able to chip away at the bone pile in an effort to meet the demand, which, at the time of launch, was ravenous.
For Xbox 360.
I'm outside the Best Buy in Midtown. It's raining here in New York, but these gamers don't care. They've been out here in the rain since early this morning, and they're not leaving until they get an Xbox 360.
When the Xbox 360 launched, there was a palpable excitement for this console.
The Xbox 360 finally got
I fucking miss G4, man. I miss G4.
out of your dreams and into your car. Microsoft had their fingers firmly on the pulse.
And they try to bring it back, but it's not the same. It was that G4 TV back then, man, was something.
Of what gamers were expecting, and they clearly had a vision of what gaming would be for the future.
We got in with something that was...
They'll go into it, Crowded. Yeah, what I know, I haven't watched this video, but because it happened to me so many times, that what happens is the board would get so hot, right, that it would undo itself. So you get the error code of your when you plugged in the RCA and stuff, the video wouldn't come out.
Unique and revolutionary, gorgeous design of the concave elements of the 360.
It really felt, in some ways, that Xbox had actually just arrived.
This new world of online, this new world of social engagement, this new world of building communities. We at Microsoft had absolutely nailed that experience.
The demand was really, really high. We were selling every single unit we could ship into the market.
Now, I know there are a lot of fans out there that want a 360. There's a shortage out there. You know, is that a marketing strategy, or can you not produce enough? What's the real story on that?
We are making...
They're broke. They're broke, Jeff. We can't make enough shitty consoles at the moment until after. So we're putting the shitty ones out there first for people to buy.
As many as we can, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We're flying them in.
Ultimately, we got through our challenges of production, and we just need to be able to catch up.
By hitting the market a full year before PlayStation 3, Xbox 360 had a head start on the competition. But Sony was still the undisputed industry giant, and they had
Do you know why? Their console worked.
every intention of keeping it that.
Although they came out with the PlayStation 3, which is the most expensive console at the time, but it was a hell of a Blu-ray player.
That way.
It was the most expensive console. Get this. It was the most expensive console, but it was the cheapest Blu-ray player. That's why people bought the PlayStation 3.
It was the year after we shipped, when PS3 was coming out.
We were paranoid.
Sony had such credibility that they had cultivated from the PlayStation 1 to the PlayStation 2. So they were riding on this tidal wave of success and goodwill from gamers.
Coming off the PlayStation 2, Sony had done...
That was my least favorite, Ray. PlayStation 3 was my least favorite. I own every PlayStation except the 3. Well, before the 5. What I'm saying is, I owned it. I traded in the PlayStation 3. I got rid of it. I hated it. I hated the way it looked. I hated the way it was. The Xbox original is the only Xbox I traded in. These are the only two consoles I've ever traded in. The PlayStation 3, because I just didn't like it.
Everything right.
And I didn't buy a PlayStation 5, so.
Right, the most successful platform in game industry history, and really just needed...
PlayStation 2 was the shit, though. PlayStation 2 was generational, man. Such a good console.
State of the playbook. In contrast to that, you just witnessed Microsoft coming to market at the right price a year before you're able to come to market. So you know you're facing formidable competition.
PlayStation 3 is the best-of-breed computer entertainment platform.
PlayStation 3 was positioned as a premium product from the get-go. This was going to play games, but it would also play Blu-ray discs. So it was seen more as kind of an entertainment machine.
We knew they were going to be somewhat arrogant.
The next generation doesn't start until we say it does.
And they would price their console to where they felt they needed to have it because they felt that they were untouchable.
This is sort of pre-live streaming era, and a bunch of us were huddled around one person's laptop, like a 15-inch
Yeah, it had the Spider-Man font, yeah.
laptop screen, streaming Sony's press conference.
And then they dropped the price.
In North America, the PlayStation 3 will be available at retail for $599.
Woo! Now it's standard, right? Now it's standard.
US dollars, $659 Canadian.
Wait a minute, did $599?
$599. Nobody was prepared for that.
Back then, consoles didn't launch at those kind of price points.
It was like, holy cow, we just got handed this generation.
We were high-fiving each other, people were crying.
There were just all these ways that Sony had put their own foot in their mouth.
Now, why is it back then people were pushing back on the price, but now when people put back on the price now, you're just haters? Do you see? People forget and people don't know, right? There's people in school today that don't even know, like, World War II. They're just like, what's World War II? What's the Holocaust? They don't know because they don't know. So people that defend shit today, they're like, oh, that's actually a good price. $600 is a good price. Well, if you put inflation to it, no. The technology is a technology, and you're buying that, it's too expensive. People are not going to buy your shit.
Sony said it would be a privilege for people to work extra hours to afford.
What? What? It would be a privilege? Hold on a second.
One foot in their mouth.
Sony said it would be a privilege for people to work extra hours to afford their overly.
Did they do a Randy Pitchford thing? Selling ice cream off the pay? Holy Christ.
Price console.
You have an over-engineered.
It would be a privilege to work extra hours just so you could afford their console. Holy shit. This is the same company that's doing what they're doing today. Just saying. Not one company is better than the other. I'm just saying. This is the same company that's doing what they're doing today. It'd be a privilege for you to work extra hours to afford a PlayStation. No shit. This is why they're charging $900.
Machine that's going to be incredibly expensive to manufacture.
And that opened a window for Microsoft to be able to sort of say, hey, like, we have a great system that's going to play all the games you want to play. We've got better online for cheaper.
Thank you very much, and have a great show.
Becoming CEO right after the launch of PlayStation 3 was like being made captain of the Titanic right after it hit the iceberg.
I beat you to the Pittsburgh jab. Yeah, imagine that. It'd be a privilege. It'd be a privilege for you. Like, get the fuck out of here.
After Sony's announcement, we could not wait to get on stage the next day.
Couldn't be more excited to be here because we're delivering the next generation of gaming right here.
If I was Xbox, obviously hindsight's 2020, you know, but if I was Xbox, I would have been like, and we're lowering the price even more. That's what they should have done. They should have done it.
Yay, don't lower
pushing
the
harder.
price. Just work more hours at your job instead. Who do these guys think they are?
That's crazy. I never knew they said that.
And right now, with titles that are nothing short of spectacular.
We had a lot of PlayStation fans and even Nintendo fans who were coming to Xbox because we had the best games, we had the best system, we had the best online network. We led in every aspect.
With the help of our incredible partners, we're delivering on that vision with Xbox 360, with a high-definition gaming experience more powerful than anything else in the industry.
Yeah, we were riding high, we were celebrating. I'd say the morale is extremely high. And we had so much pride in this product. Everything was great. And then the storm hit.
You bought two?
Before
Right, everything was perfect, and then the red ring of death happened. Even when they're handed, think about if they didn't have the red ring of death. They could have sold a shit ton more. They still lost to the PlayStation, if I'm not mistaken. Hold on, let's go to the overall sales again. Right, I think they still lost. PlayStation 3, 87. Xbox 360, 84. Yeah, they still lost. And that's with the red ring of death. Yeah, that's crazy, though.
Before launch, engineers had worked around the clock to fix 360's early technical issues. But by June 2006, there were reports of an entirely new, never-before-seen problem. Distress calls flooded into Redmond. Something had gone terribly wrong.
Could you imagine? I'm just putting this out there. Could you imagine if someone was just paid to sabotage? It would be pretty easy. I'm not saying they did it. But if you just had one guy that was on the line, just one guy, and he was just doing his thing, and just fuck it up, plausible.
It was in the forums, and I started to notice that something wasn't right. There was a lot of chatter about console failures.
Dude, what? Your Xbox. You might want to take a look at it.
Over time, we kept hearing more and more about it. We'd go to a launch event for a game, or we'd go to meet with games journalists. Then they would all start talking to us about it. Like, before we can talk about new features, we want to know, is this fixed? But we had no sense of how big of an issue it was. We didn't even know how to deal with it. And then we saw more reports of it.
Microsoft have been in the news with their latest computer system.
Like it's a death. Like in today's news, you're sitting down, gamers. Xboxes is death.
But it seems the last big product they launched can have some problems.
That's the first time I seen this. There it is. Mother.
The Xbox 360 had a really cool feature where there were...
This is before MySpace too, wasn't it? MySpace was it around MySpace? Facebook was what, 2011? MySpace was 2005, wasn't it? 2006?
Ginger Primed celebrates 30 months of membership. Oh man, 3 red lights.
Thank you very much for the continued support, Ginger Prime. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for that for the 30 months. Appreciate you. Yeah, the red ring of death. Did you have it? Did you have the red ring? I had it twice.
Lights around the Xbox emblem.
Each of those lights corresponded to a specific controller.
MySpace was around, right? Yeah. I was like, MySpace was around from like 2000 up until like 2011, right? It was like right when Facebook launched.
How you knew what player you were in the game.
We also used the ring to tell people when there were issues.
It's like the check engine light on your car.
And this is what we called a core digital error. And this was an indicator of the system detected a major issue.
The error state was just that there was no communication. So the machine was just basically telling you, I can't do anything.
This would show up as 3 segments in the ring being lit red, which would come to be known as the red ring of death.
It's the red ring of death. Red ring of death.
I got red ringed. Everybody got red ringed.
What the? Are you kidding me? When that motherfucking red thing come up and then the whole game freeze and motherfucker be like, man, what the is going on? We can't play. What's going on? Yo, doing that too? It was, oh my God. It was terrible. No! Red ring of death! Again!
We have no Xbox. I'm calling support.
You wait on...
Xbox and Microsoft have been stepping on rakes the entire generations. Every single time they do something fucked it up.
Hold for a while. They let you know they really appreciate your call. You wait on hold a little bit longer, and then they go,
okay, we're gonna get you a replacement unit. It doesn't show up for a week. All the enthusiasm's...
I hated that. And then I got it back. And I had it for 3 weeks. Right? So mine did it. It took, I think, 14 days for me to get my next box. I got the box, took it out. I was like, cool. It happened again 3 weeks later. And then I was pissed. I was fucking pissed. I was like, what's happening here? You guys said you fixed it. Did you send me a new copy? Did you just refurbish it? Like, what did you do? Then they sent me a brand new one. Sent me the black edition.
Gone. And then here's the new console. And it was just like, wow.
This is the fourth Xbox. Microsoft.
Effectively, the failure rate was near 100%. It just became an epidemic.
It was a red brick of death. Consoles hotter than a dragon's spring. It was a red brick of death.
No freaking way!
And I'm so pissed off. Grab the phone, dial tone, call it Microsoft. Now they'll see the dark side of me. I'm on hold. It was a red.
Damn. Should have asked him to open up our boxes, huh? Look at that. That's impressive. Impressive.
It was a red brick of death.
Well, see, Jax, that at that time, you got to remember, 2005, what am I, 20, 26, 27? Right? It's a completely different time. Right? This is not jaded 30 at this time. This is hopeful gamer 30 at this time. This is before 30 became 30. This is pre that. So I wasn't put off by this because I didn't know any better. I was a young, dumb 20-something-year-old. Okay? So that's why I wasn't put off, because at that time, I didn't see the wizard yet. You know what I mean?
The glitches that went down with Xbox 360, I was mad as I'm like, get this fixed or I'm leaving. I'm joining the enemy. And as simple as that.
Piece of manufacturing from Redmond, Washington, Lindsay Microsoft.
I feel kind of sorry for it. Not really.
I would never do that, though. Do you know what I mean? I would never do that, because you can get a replacement. How are you going to get a replacement for that now?
I deserved it.
It's a big deal because it's just sort of the passion that gamers have for their hobby. Like, you don't want to be away from your console any longer than you need to be.
We felt the customer's pain. I had 3 boxes replaced, personally at my house. And it does make you think, okay, I work here. And this experience is not a pleasant experience, and sending your Xbox back.
Microsoft's gonna ship you a cardboard coffin. And that's what gamers were calling them online. Did your cardboard coffin arrive?
I finally got my coffin. But hopefully I'll get him back.
And you'd put your 360 in it and ship it on back to Microsoft.
I remember going out to Curve.
Is that me? Wait a minute. That looks like a drawing of me. That's fucking crazy. Are we in the Matrix? What's happening? That's me. Look at it. Look at it, chat. That's fucking crazy. It's uncanny. Kind of looks like you. It literally looks like my face. Can I zoom in? I can't zoom in. What? That's crazy. It's like the same colored shirt and everything. I'm not wearing jeans right now.
And like meeting the UPS guy and looking in the back of the UPS truck and seeing wall to wall, Xbox.
It's crazy. It's uncanny.
Returns.
The fact that it was happening to more and more people, and Microsoft was shipping a lot of hardware. That just combined to this feeling that, hey, like, are you guys really taking this seriously?
They're continuing to sell defective hardware.
The same guy? Hold on a second.
Like, are you guys really taking this seriously?
They're
oh my God. Man, that's changed.
Continuing to sell defective hardware. So a consumer could walk into the store today, buy a 360.
The floor model's got the red ring.
Take it home, and it's a ticking time bomb.
Is there any speculation out there what the problem is?
There's a lot of speculation, but because, well, among other things, there are 500 million transistors and 1,700 parts in each of these boxes, so the speculation could go anywhere.
Whenever we had new game launches or new system updates, I would be out meeting with the top games journalists, showing them all the new stuff. And I'm trying to sell them on the future, and they're like, dude, my console's not working, like it's broken.
For those who have experienced the flashing red lights, what causes this exactly?
That's kind of part of the problem, Kevin. Microsoft has been very vague about the specific causes. They won't cite any specifics. They won't say...
Well, no, they don't want to tell you because there's a bunch of people that know how to fix stuff. And if they tell you what it was, then people could just fix it themselves, right? So they try to keep it as quiet as possible because it keeps it down. And it has to go through them.
Exactly why.
We didn't have all the answers at that time.
We were trying to figure this out. Do we have a heat problem? Is the solder in key components in the motherboard, is it cracking up and drying out and we're losing that connection? We just couldn't figure it out.
It's a long process. You had to test it at the board level, you had to test it at the system level, and then you had to test it in a rack level. And we had, almost 1 million of them sitting in our bone pile.
God, could you imagine? Could you imagine just sitting there and a million of them are in front of you? You're a worker that you walk in, you're like, fuck. Bill Gates is coming today. What? No, keep Bill out of here.
We'd fix the ones in the bone pile, we'd send it back out to the customer, and it turns out that wasn't the problem, and it would break again.
And I'm saying, man, this is not going to end.
After the third or the fourth issue that we ran into, I remember thinking, hey, maybe we're in over our heads.
And we got to the point where we said, we're not figuring this out fast enough. We made the call to shut down production.
We went lying down at the factory. We wanted to figure out how to solve it before we built any more units to go to customers.
It stretched every bit of our imaginations to try to figure out exactly what was going on and how to fix the problem.
This went on for months.
These were the darkest days of my career.
Are people going to now go out and buy PlayStation or Nintendo? Are they going to leave us as a brand?
Every day you weren't gaming was
the answer to all of that is yes.
A bad day for you. You trusted us and you'd invested this money in us and we let you down.
Not gonna work.
This was an incredibly trying time. People use phrases like you figure out what people are made of. Having gone through it, I can actually say that happens. It's a thing. It isn't just a phrase.
Todd had to manage the very
It was, it closed down like I think they stopped production in 2026, 2027.
Complex process of what we call root causing until we knew what was going on.
2006, 2007. I dedicated a lot of my life to this Xbox in order to fix this problem.
And you could tell by the way he said that. Look at
a lot of my life to this Xbox.
His eyes literally twitching. Just talking about it is giving him PTSD.
Xbox in order to fix this problem. Breakthrough came when we understood that the connections that were being broken were not located on the motherboard, but they were actually located inside the components. The problem was a connection was breaking. The reason it was breaking was thermal, but it wasn't because of the peak temperature. It was because when the unit would get hot and then cold, hot and then cold, every time it did that, it would stress the connection. All these people love playing video games, and so they would turn this thing on and off, and when it would turn on and off, you get all sorts of stresses. And just like when you bend something too many times till it finally breaks, that's what was happening. Once we figured it out, how in the heck are we going to fix this?
Peter Moore and the executive team faced a big decision about trying to fix this with all these boxes that were out there in the wild.
This was something that could tarnish the brand. They needed to do not just something, they needed to do the right thing.
That's what all of them need to do. To this day, companies still need to do the right thing, but they don't because greed. They did the right thing.
If we're going to save this brand, we need first-class consumer service reaction to this.
The credibility of the whole platform really, I think, hung in the balance.
There's only one way to do this, and that is you have to fix every console.
That's right.
For every customer.
Except for the people that smashed it with their car and a hammer.
At no cost.
that guy fucking submerged it in his river.
For every customer.
That's still going to work. He's going to come back and be like, there's water damage in here. I don't know what happened.
No cost. No questions asked.
I think we're off to a good start.
They did, as big of a fuck up it is, they had to replace it. They had to do it.
I remember sitting on a whiteboard writing out some simple math on repair rates times $1 times a customer times an amount equals a number. And that number became pretty big.
He baptized that 360, yeah.
And I remember feeling in my stomach this is going to be a bigger issue than I thought.
By the time we looked at the cost of repairs, the lost sales that we factored in, we had a $1.15 billion.
Woo! 1.5 billion fuck up. Man. Think about this for a second. That's only 3 Concords. That's only 3 Concords. 3 Concords, a couple of high guards in there. Yeah, it's actually not that bad. Sony paid $3.6 billion for Bungie. It's actually not that bad in the grand scheme of things.
No problem.
Peter had to go to Steve Ballmer and basically say, hey, bad news. I need $1 billion to go fix this issue.
I'm expecting to be ripped to shreds.
Throw it to X Defiance, yeah. A couple of X Defiance, a little bit of high guard, top it off.
It is a make or break situation for Xbox. If Steve Ballmer does not give Peter Moore the money to go fix it, Xbox is dead. Like, there's probably no question about it.
To the credit of Steve, and I can still see him looking at me right now, he said, do it. Just do it. We'll figure
God damn. No pushback. Just do it.
it all out. We'll take the hit.
Microsoft will spend at least $1 billion to repair serious hardware.
Could you imagine? Oh my God. Think about this. If they didn't do that, if they didn't fix it, and then they went into the Xbox One and the Xbox One told you it was a media thing, oh my God, they would have been dead. Xbox would be done. They wouldn't have made it this far.
Failures with its Xbox 360 video game console.
Over 200 million of this was simply one-way overnight shipping around the world.
Kudos to Microsoft for stepping up and putting their money where the red ring of death was.
It was one of the times when I've been proudest to be part.
What's worse, chat? The red ring of death, the veiling of the Xbox One, or what's happening right now with Xbox? Which one's worse? I think the worst is the red ring of death, because that's the pinnacle. If they didn't fix it, I don't even think you'd get the Xbox One off the ground. Right? They got a lot of goodwill because of what they did here. You think now's the worst? Not having exclusives? You think right now the exclusive thing is worse than the red ring of death? Now because Xbox survived. I guess. I mean, it makes sense what you're saying, right? It makes sense what you're saying. But in an overall thing, like getting exclusives away, but you still have a console, right? The media device where you're not going to own stuff, and then the red ring of death where you can't even use your thing. I don't know. I think the not using it, the actual hardware is worse. The fact that they dropped the ball on Halo is the worst thing they've ever done. It would be like Nintendo fucking up Mario. Yeah, but if you can't play the console, if they've never gave them the money to fix it and everyone was just shit out of luck, Xbox is dead right then. Right? You could still play Xbox even if Halo's fucked up. You could still play Xbox if they don't have exclusives.
How do you play exclusive games without a working box, lol?
That's what I'm saying, right? If you can't play the Xbox, it's got to be worse. Thank you very much for the $5. It's got to be worse. But they did get the money. I understand that. The question was, what would have been worse? Not having a working console, having no DRM, or having DRM, or not having exclusives. I think the console is the worst. It's not the right answer. It's my answer.
Part of Microsoft because we made a mistake, we owned it, and we did the right thing for consumers.
Without that money spent, without them taking the problem head on, there's probably no Xbox right now.
100%, Ryan. If they did not do that fix, we wouldn't even be in the situation of not having exclusives.
We bet on our fans and our brand and took the hit. Take that hit once, do it right. Don't ever regret it.
Microsoft extended the warranty of all 360 consoles from 1 year to 3 years, yeah? Because they had to, because they didn't know all the ones that didn't burn out, they knew could burn out. So they had to keep fixing it. The original is what the ones that are already Red Ring of Death were the problem. But then there's the ones that didn't know, it was almost like the Order 66 in Star Wars. When was it going to turn on? Eras would also conclude in 2011.
When the 360 died on me, I was pissed that it died, but I wasn't pissed at Microsoft. I just really wanted to get the 360 again and start playing again because it was just awesome.
Agreed.
Frustrating, but they had hooked us. So when you hook somebody, you know they're not going to leave. They're going to work with you through the difficult times.
That was a good sign that people love the thing that you're building.
But even
if the pros are better than the cons, and the con's going to get fixed, you can forgive it.
$1 billion mea culpa may not have been enough had it not been for two X factors: a library of celebrated game titles and support from game developers who loved how easy it was to program for Xbox 360 and saw in it the potential to take gaming to places previously unexplored.
Oh, I don't think we could do that same thing. If the same thing happened today, George, I don't think they're giving you a refund. I don't think they're fixing it for free. They'll fix it for you for like $200, right? They're gonna charge you now if something happened like that. Oh, we're gonna get hit with the match. I'll just delete it later.
Gears of War at the time was the best looking game ever made, and it became this poster child for HD graphics and HD fidelity.
It's like, this is a game that people are going to immediately gravitate to and go, oh my god, I can't believe the 360 looks that good.
Nintendo fixes Joy-Con drift for free. Is that on the Switch 1 or just the Switch 2? I don't think they fixed it for free on the Switch 1, did they?
Especially when they compare it to PS3, because this game looks better than anything on PS3 right now.
It was the fastest selling Xbox 360 game. It sold like 1 million units in the first couple of weeks, and that really propelled the 360 in a big way.
Gears of War may just be the great hope to turn the 360 into a must-buy console.
Morgan Webb.
It was a very different type of game for Microsoft. An M-rated game with over-the-top violence.
Everyone loved the signature weapon, the chain gun, the Lancer.
Gears of
But I know they didn't fix it for free in the beginning, Blocky. I know that for a fact. They did not fix it for free in the beginning. I think they changed their ways longer it was out.
What was about appealing to a hardcore gamer.
The people that play Gears, they have so much
They
passion.
had to take Nintendo to court for the joystick.
Yeah. Thank you for the $2. Right? They had to take Nintendo to court for the joysticks. They did, though? In the beginning, they didn't. Why would people take them to court for the joysticks then if they're replacing them for free?
Get tattoos, and it's just the deep connection they have with the franchise and the game. It's unlike any other franchise that we have.
That was satisfying. And all of a sudden you see this tide turn of every publisher is then developing for the Xbox 360.
We have secured a lot of big games for Xbox 360. You know, we published titles like Mass Effect.
We had Splinter Cell from Ubisoft, of course. We really had this incredible portfolio of games. We were the shooter box.
Call of Duty was a franchise we had bet on early. It was a PC franchise, and we really established Call of Duty on the console in a big way.
Cameo and this gorgeous, colorful game. It was about frame rate, it was about smooth visuals.
Here, I'm gonna read this, right? I'm gonna read this. I did a search. No, Nintendo did not always fix Joy-Cons for free. When the Nintendo Switch launched in 2017, out of warranty, Joy-Con repairs cost money. Nintendo changed this policy in July of 2019 after widespread complaints and a class action lawsuit regarding Joy-Con drift. That's what we do here. We don't take someone just saying something because we know for a fact that that's not what was before. They changed it along the way.
Forza was built as a direct competitor to Gran Turismo. We're going to go off and we're going to build a great, epic, big racing simulator game.
You had cars that had amazing reflections of the sky. They had reflections of other things. You had particle effects. You had a lot of things that just made it look much more real than any other game.
To this day, my son can recognize cars by the engine sounds because he played
my son learned cars because of Forza.
So much Forza.
Yeah.
If you look at Xbox 360, that was a moment where we got it exactly right. It was just an incredible run that I don't know that has ever been topped in the history of gaming. And then, you know, at the center of it all was Halo 3.
It had been 3 years since Halo 2
Yeah, I know, Aku. I
smashed industry records, and Halo fans were clamoring for the next chapter of the epic space saga.
I think that we were really surprised by the success, the huge success of Halo 2. And so as we were leading up to the Halo 3 campaign, I think we did kind of look at it all up from our marketing team as more of a Hollywood moment.
With Halo 3, we wanted to get out in front and make people aware that video games are not something that are just for the boys. Video games have come of age.
An exciting day for video.
2007 and 2011, some of the best gaming ever. For the amount of games that came out during 2007 and 2011, holy Christ, man. Across the board. For Sony, for Xbox, for Nintendo.
Game fans and for Microsoft.
Master Chief is back in the most anticipated video game ever, Halo 3.
Thousands lined up to get the final installment of the trilogy when it went on sale at midnight.
I got here 6 p.m. yesterday. Been waiting here ever since.
Halo 3, what a massive launch event that was for us.
They have 1 million pre-orders, which is pretty much unprecedented.
Halo is projected to sell 4 million copies its first 60 days.
More than twice as many as the 9 runners-up combined.
It's only the biggest game ever.
We were no longer some tech company trying to be in video games. We were launching one of the biggest.
What was that? Ludicrous?
Tech company trying to be
was
in
that
video
ludicrous
games.
there?
We were launching.
It is. That's ludicrous.
One of the biggest entertainment properties of all time.
Halo 3 embodies our vision for the future of entertainment.
The franchise spawning everything from clothing to action figures and rumors of a Halo movie.
Halo 3 really started to make gaming
Channing Tatum
the mainstream cultural phenomenon.
Its first day sales could outdo not only the final Harry Potter book, but the debut of Spider-Man 3.
When everything was tallied, we had generated over $170 million in revenue in the first 24 hours, setting a new record for the biggest day.
And now they put something out and they think they're going to get the exact same without trying to do something good.
In entertainment.
They just expect you because that Halo sold well, so the next Halo is going to sell well.
Game in history.
It was just an amazing moment. It was one thing after another. We had games, we had Time Magazine. Everything started clicking and it felt like something's happening.
We delivered the right content, the right hardware, the right games.
Slow your roll there, Peter. The right hardware? Without the red ring of death, maybe.
At the right price, and we were showing massive momentum. The ship had sailed and sailed magnificently and kept sailing full steam ahead.
Only a week ago, Peter Moore took the stage in Santa Monica, California for Microsoft's E3 press event. A mere 7 days later, the man in charge of the 360 and the Games for Windows division has decided to move on to EA Sports.
And then loot boxes appeared.
I left Xbox because I felt...
Actually, that's not true. They didn't show up until Android Wilson showed up.
Felt like I had done what I needed to do.
Ironically, he'll be replaced by Don Matrick, the former president of EA, but one has to wonder, with the face of the Xbox gone, how will this affect the 360 standing in the console wars?
I think Asha might have watched this a few times, just saying. Maybe.
Patrick was a really accomplished game developer. As a kid, he wrote these amazing games, and he was just like super smart.
Don's really an innovator. He's a business leader. He's really into the tech. He really wanted the Xbox to be a product that could reach a broader and broader market.
When I joined Microsoft, Steve Ballmer said Xbox needs to have more than a true product lifecycle. And to do that, we need to place bets. We need to move into new categories.
He has the same haircut still. Ballsy.
We need to innovate and create new hit products, both in gaming and in entertainment.
When Don Matrick came on board, it was more about trying to appeal to a completely different audience and a very broad audience. So there was this one meeting where he shows up and he says, we're not going for 30 million consoles, we're going for 300 million consoles. And the strategy behind that was we need to make casual experiences.
When the Xbox 360 launched, we had...
Nintendo's making games for gamers. Xbox says we're going casual.
Had Xbox Live built in. We had this very basic blade for Marketplace, and we had only game content. One of the things that I've been tasked to do was go get us some entertainment content, which was an entirely new...
And now, look at the world we live in. If this came out now, I don't think you have an issue of what he's saying. But that's not the world we live in.
Idea of the time.
We started doing deals with studios. We were excited when we had 1 movie and then 2 movies and 5 movies and 10 movies.
Microsoft's Xbox will transform into a next-generation entertainment hub. Users will be able to navigate through music.
Which is what all consoles are now. Hell, even Netflix has got games and movies and different things, right? Everything. All your television sets are the exact same thing now.
Movies, television shows.
For the first time, we were realizing that streaming and digital video content was going to be a big deal. And then we had Netflix come on.
Xbox 360 was a big part of putting Netflix in the living room.
At the time, Netflix was a mail-order DVD catalog service.
Nationally, Netflix moves more than 1.5 million DVDs a day.
There's 40 of these warehouses around the country. Right. So that nearly every customer gets next day delivery.
Netflix hadn't done anything with digital streaming. We thought, why don't we call them up, see if they would be interested in distributing their content through Xbox 360.
We definitely accelerated their growth because...
That's crazy. That's crazy to think that because Xbox wanted to do what they did, Netflix shifted over to digital. And because they did, it changed the entire market for Netflix, and then Netflix dominated.
As we introduced them to tens of millions of devices that were connected to a TV overnight.
It's a great opportunity for Xbox members to never leave the sofa. You know, watch movies from Netflix, play great games. It's a great platform.
And it's like, what should we do next? Well, we brought HBO, we brought Twitter, we brought Facebook. Today, that may not seem that revolutionary, but at the time, the idea to be able to do that all...
And people forgot about that.
In one box. It had just never been done before.
Our Xbox Live community, the digital streaming services, the gamer tags, the achievements, the experiences, they were things that we would hear consumers say they loved and competitors say they were envious of.
Xbox Live really proved that people wanted digital content. I think that created this sort of ripple effect that affected Nintendo. They knew that they probably needed to shift on how they did some things. They weren't just going to give you another console, they were going to give you a console that did something different.
This is Mike. By day, he's Mike the businessman. But when he picks up the new Wii Remote from Nintendo, he's Mike the warrior superstar athlete man.
Holiday of 2006, Nintendo released the Wii and turned the world upside down.
We're confident because for pick-up-and-play games, there's nothing like it. For baseball, for tennis, games like that, it's
Nintendo, everyone goes right, Nintendo goes left.
fantastic. But with the nunchuck, what you're able to do in a first-person type of game is a huge step forward in control.
Nintendo came out of left field with a device that wasn't based on technology. It was based on a simple entertainment experience of being able to play a game without being a button masher on a controller.
It really resonated with a mass audience, a wider audience. All of a sudden, parents are playing video games with their kids again.
Suddenly, you heard people talking about video gaming as something that was good for you.
Wii Fit is about bringing...
Yeah, remember that? Remember when video games was healthy for you?
Bringing fun into fitness.
Video gaming as an approachable thing that everybody could do.
They went after senior citizens. They went after female gamers. They went after people who are not traditionally gamers.
Clearly, they expanded the audience and they took gaming to mainstream entertainment.
I remember Bill putting a lot of pressure on the Xbox leadership team. How did we miss motion gaming? What can we do to catch up?
We need to compete. We need to advance our game strategy. We don't want to do a Wiimote rip.
I don't know why they all have to compete like with stuff like that, right? Just, you wanted to do entertainment, they wanted to do motion controls, and now you wanted to do the Kinect, which basically was a 1-2 punch, right? The DRM stuff and the Kinect was the death blow.
Off. We want to do our own thing.
Don also had this vision for controller-free gaming.
What would it be like if instead of waving something, we were recording movement? We were recording state of people physically through a camera.
There's a game company right now that they sell, if you go to Best Buy and Target, it's a little cube. I don't know what it's called. It's a little cube. It's basically the Kinect. And now that's selling. It's not selling tens and millions of copies of it, but there's a little box. It's a Kinect that you play games just like the Kinect. And it's selling. People are buying it up.
The controller,
that's it, the playground,
he thought was this impediment to more people playing games because you had to kind of learn this device. And his view was like, hey, if people could just like swat at things or move things or drive a car like this, it's kind of crazy, but it's like if you could drive a car like this, that would make more people more willing to play video games.
We set out to really make the console approachable to a whole new generation of people, to a whole new set of people that wouldn't otherwise think about gaming as something that it was for them.
We had already been doing some technology exploration where we could map people using depth sensing and RGB cameras and microphones and stuff, and you could have that by your television. Rather than holding something, you could still get these similar type of experiences.
The idea that we were going to use IR kind of display, projection and reflection, to measure movement was pretty magical.
Every step of the Kinect process was an inventing step.
A lot of this work, we had to figure out how to hack our way into it.
We prototyped probably 30 activities.
Yeah, but it's funny because all of this stuff was back in Nintendo's day when they had the Power Glove and stuff like that. You got to put that bar across your television set so it knew the zones and stuff like that. This technology is not new. It's just marketed differently.
We found that the whole body activity...
It sucked back then. It sucked right there. It's going to continue to suck. And again, people want to do like motion controls and stuff like that. Just a finger to a button, a finger to a controller is the easiest thing. Doing this to change, to do all the volume up, volume down, that's not... People don't want to sweat when they're playing video games. They want to relax.
Activities were actually the most fun, and so that's what we ended up...
Remember when you first started playing the Wii? You first started playing the Wii, you stood up, you're like playing tennis, right? You're bowling, And then all of a sudden, what you decided to do was like, I wonder if it works when I'm sitting down. And then you just do this, right? You're like, you don't even stand up anymore. You just do this. You're like, you figured it out because you're like, yeah, it's cool, but I don't want to do it all the time.
Focusing on to create something totally new for gamers.
We launched Kinect, and it was a game changer.
I don't think anybody saw it coming. It was something completely new and unexpected.
So you can see if we wave our hands, it's,
Oh my
it's
God.
tracking your full body.
That's
and now
crazy.
we're playing.
Okay.
So if you lean left and right, jump, jump, jump.
In your opinion, John, how does this compare to the Wii and the Wii Fit?
Oh, completely blows it away. And this extends far past just gaming.
It's crazy. It's Minority Report status. That's how I see it.
When
Nobody-
I saw
nobody
the
wants to do
Kinect, I
this.
thought, oh, finally. Like, this is something we're going to use for VR eventually. It's going to be amazing.
Imagine right now, you're trying to scroll through your Netflix to try to find something. You're like, then there's a study that shows that you get carpal tunnel in your arm because you're trying to find a fucking video in Netflix instead of doing this.
Amazing to have you in the game.
Because it's motion gaming, people think, oh, it's like the competitors. It is a completely different thing, and you have to play it to understand that.
And the games were really fun. It really unlocked a new game experience for people.
Fireball!
Start getting people all cheering and yelling and, you know, encouraging the person who's actually playing to try new things.
The idea that, like,
it's cool for its time.
You would have people over for dinner, and then afterwards, everybody would want to turn on the Xbox and go play ping pong or go play Kinect Sports or go play a Dance Central. That just gave Xbox 360 a whole nother sense of purpose.
In the first 60 days, we sold over 8 million Kinect sensors worldwide.
Kinect was a technological marvel, but it totally fell flat with core gamers. Kinect didn't
Yeah, it tore my rotator cuff, bro. Wii baseball.
work with Halo. But Kinect was an amazing tool for so many things like research and how we think about augmented reality.
Yeah, I think the problem, Blocky, when they forced it on you, you couldn't buy it without it at the time. It was only in the beginning where you had to buy the Kinect.
And virtual reality experiences.
It's been fun to watch innovation of computer science come not from academia or industry, but to come from gaming.
And it turned out that Kinect creative community just went on to do incredible things with this device.
People got into hacking the Kinect early last year. Smartly, Microsoft responded by welcoming that and encouraging more development.
People were taking all the IR data and the voice data, and it was a rich source of creativity for other types of applications.
What is neat is the technology that is used in video games now and how it can be applied to other things, not just gaming.
And they're calling it the Kinect effect.
Microsoft's Kinect could revolutionize medicine.
I love the
to aid
bowling.
the rehabilitation of stroke patients, also by people.
Yeah, see, I agree with this stuff. Like, if you're doing this to get someone that needs help moving again, starting to get, but for 99.9% of people that are playing games, this is just a niche. This is like, I'll do it once, but I'm going to sit back down in the chair and play it.
Who work with autistic children.
Or not play the game again.
Kinect today is mostly used outside of gaming.
Yeah.
So gaming,
which makes sense,
has created this piece of technology that today drives the industry forward.
Sure. Even the cameras that we're using right now.
Xbox 360.
There's cameras that move with me and stuff like that. 100%.
We had an amazing product that had finally broken through. The ecosystem was healthy. Consumers were engaged. In North America and Europe, it was the top-selling hardware device.
Xbox 360 has been the #1 selling console every month for the last 6 months.
It was a pretty great second iteration for Microsoft as a company.
Against all odds, the Xbox 360 basically won that second console generation.
By the end of that generation, I think people had sort of felt the pendulum had swung from PlayStation dominance to Xbox dominance.
Yep. And then
there were more players than ever playing Xbox. The brand really was in a terrific place.
And there was no chance There's nothing Microsoft could do that could possibly torpedo the success they have with the Xbox 360.
We're about to change entertainment forever.
Again.
Because we're going to take all that we learned
in more than 30 years of innovation
and use it to change
Television.
TV.
Television.
Why? I know they're editing it this way, but why would you make a box? Why? Think about the history we just watched. From the beginning of making the Xbox to going to 360 to all the problems they had to get in the gaming market to do all these things. And then they said, we need to make it for television. It's almost like Sony, what they're doing right now, going, we need to make first-party title games. This is how you share your games. This is how you do the stuff. And then they're at their point of time, and Sony's going, oh yeah, no more physical games. And we're going to make live service games. It's like, were you listening to what anybody was saying this entire time? Right? They're all the same. All of these companies do the exact same. It's like, were you watching and listening to what the people wanted that bought your systems? It's crazy to me.
Television.
Watch TV.
Team Xbox is on a new mission. This is it. Xbox One.
I cannot believe this press conference.
We've got this vast amount of gamers that are increasingly loving Xbox, and we're building great experiences that they've never seen before. And now we're going to be the connected TV, so we're going to have the set-top box for the living room. And it turned out like nobody wanted that.
Oh, hell no, Microsoft.
You said you wanted more live service and no discs. Very loudly heard 30NSG. Yeah.
Hell no.
Well, there you go. It's just crazy to me. And here we are in the current day, and they're all doing the same stupid shit. And you can see the history of it. Now, obviously, we're just watching Xbox. And Xbox constantly stepping on rakes, hitting themselves in the face. Generation after generation after generation. And this is a company that is a $1 trillion business. Microsoft is a $1 trillion company. And yet, every time they talked about the entire generation, it was like they're flying by the seat of their pants. Make it make sense. If there was only a bunch of people that could tell them what they wanted and then make that thing for them to make a shit ton of money. Instead, right? 3 decades and you haven't learned a fucking thing. Yeah, it's crazy. It reminds me of when one thought Bungie could possibly fuck up Destiny 2. I mean, easy. Layup, right? Right? Yeah. I don't know, man. It's absolutely crazy to think about. We're going to do part 6 on Monday. Part 6 is on Monday. So, yeah, part 6 is TV or not TV. Is there more than... I think that's the last one. I think that's the last one. So on Monday, we'll watch the last one. Yeah, I really like this. I really like watching what has happened. If there's one for Sony or Nintendo, let me know if you guys find it, and we'll watch those down the road as well. They hear us, they just don't care. That is true, George. Yeah, they hear us. They're like, yeah, we don't fucking care. That is crazy though. That Sony was like, yeah, you should just. It's an honor. You should go work more jobs. What a Randy Pitchford thing to say. Which I guess is a Sony thing to say. The Gears documentary is also worth to watch. We'll watch it. We'll have a backlog of stuff to watch. Just get a second job, 30. Yeah. Why not? I really want it. All right. That's going to do it for us today. It is 12:30. I'm going to go eat lunch. We'll be back by 10 to 1 o'clock over on 30 and Still Gaming. Me and Mr. Luke are going to play the new edition of Fortnite, whatever came out today. So if you want to hang out with us over there, you can come and hang out with us over there, over on 30 and Still Gaming. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member. Let me know what you guys think about in the Discord, about what we talked about earlier in the stream. Give me your feedback over there. Send me a message or whatever. Other than that, if you guys want to hear the music, go to Spotify, iHeart, iTunes, Apple Music. can go get the 2 albums that we have up there. We're going to have a 3rd album in the next few weeks or so. And then hats, shirts, mugs. If you guys want apparel, you get the links in the description down below. Appreciate it very much. 30, can you please stream me Gibson the Patriot? Gibson the Patriot. What's that? I want a documentary of Rogue Squadron series. It's a privilege for you to digitally all for us to remove them from your library. Yeah, it's a privilege. You should pay us extra for not owning your shit. All right, guys. You guys have a great rest of your day, evening, or night, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Don't forget, GXG tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, podcast episode 501. We'll see you guys then. Peace.